ready to get to it. So, last session was fairly straightforward. Um, you guys found yourselves as you entered into the lands of Gaia. You found yourselves confronted by a monstrosity of unequal power, an absolutely devastating monster. It put Ouroboros on his back heel a number of times. It um, fully ate Gyasi. It was a dangerous adversary for sure, and as Ouroboros found himself on his last legs and the front line of the party being taken down, the one man front line, a new player entered the chat, and a red dragon emerged that attempted to attack the Tarask to no avail, and eventually, utilizing some cunning techniques of druidic magics, managed to float this apparent guardian of the druids up into the sky and gave you guys the window you need to descend down into the earth and emerge in not another cavern, but another world altogether. By your identifications, Katara, surely another plane of existence altogether. You have entered the lands of Gaia. You met Alicia, the apparent one of the apparent archdruids of the lands of Gaia, who quite graciously took you to her home, where the apparent circle of the moon resides, and told you some information. It gave you essentially the mythology. She gave you the mythology of the druid people and how they saw things from their perspective. Essentially, saw that after they helped the gods defeat the giants, they said, "Why don't you guys take like the heavens and and the underworld and all of those godly domains and leave the earth to us, and I'm sure things will be fine." And the gods did not like that very much, and so essentially began to slaughter the druids and their kin and their allies. And apparently, according to the legends, the lover, as she is dubbed by the druids, aka Aphrodite, secretly ported away the druids to a safer place, the lands of Gaia, where they have been ever since. Um, Alessia has told you all that if you want to gain the allyship of the druids, you're going to need to consider your questions carefully. You're going to need to be able to see from their perspective and understand that the gods are not loved here. They are not even feared here. And so many of you would do well to be careful of your associations. Insisting, though, except Aphrodite's seem pretty well. It is also worth noting that Gyasi has, in this sort of defeat, receded into his own mind, seems to have an imbalance of the spirit, that his spirit seems to be closer to, though his body walks and breathes, despite the magics of Thalia, his spirit seems to be further away from his mortal form, more closer towards the alphabet. And that will need to be taken care of probably sooner rather than later, as it does indeed seem the sort of Perseus was left behind in the belly of the beast, the guardian of the druids. And that is where we pick up today, as you sit all around inside of the home of Alicia, this internal sort of tree-like hut space where you see many beasts and people and fae wandering here and there. You have sanctuary here for the time being, it seems. So, children of Greece and host, what would you all like to do?
Can I start off by saying that I just thought about it, and Derek, when you were saying the lore that Ryan was just talking about,
Yep.
you said it in such a great fucking story, like book manner that it was so easy to like get into it. So good on you.
Thank you. Ryan wrote it.
Hey, you
But
performed
you
it though.
performed it, yeah.
You get more of the money than he does for the performance.
We all know
Everyone
that's not true.
pays me this week.
We all know that's not true.
Okay.
But I
Okay,
will say, why don't you go ahead and take inspiration, though,
Hey.
for excellent storytelling and being quite an interesting new companions of the group.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
But it is worth reminding that through the duration of that tale, you would note that it seems that the gods have they don't use their names around here. They use sort of titles for them now, such as the Slaughterer, the Destroyer,
The Slayer, the
Slayer.
Earthshaker.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, Earthshaker.
The Earthshaker.
Yeah, I go through the list explaining all of them, and I'll text over a list in the chat when I get a chance.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not
Yeah.
exactly beyond your mother Thalia, the gods are not beloved here. They're actually kind of hated. Hated might actually be a kind word for it as well.
I understand what we were getting ourselves into when we came here.
Yeah. So tell me about your adventures a little bit. Like the night is still young. The wine is still here. Mine is not empty yet. I'd like to hear some of your adventures.
Well, we just took down the Palas, the giant king, and installed a new one, Ouroboros.
Oh, you're a king. Okay. Oh, king. But no crown? That part or you haven't gotten to that part yet?
Well, let's just say it would clash with my current styling preferences.
Leadership's not easy, my friend. Not easy, my big man. You know, feels like easy, my friend. You have to be. Feels like it's one thing to claim a crown, it's another to keep it. Your people have to put you on that throne. You can't just take the throne. Your people have to put you on it.
Yeah, that's becoming increasingly evident. Yeah. Anyway, we'll after this we'll see if I even have a kingdom to call my own.
Feels like feels like very well. It feels like well, until you lose it, I'll just keep calling you king for now. And
I appreciate that.
so Katara, if I might ask, what I don't know, like I don't want to be rude or anything, but like why do you where did you get that wonderful bird you have?
I summoned him.
He's an adorable little creature, isn't he?
I think he's technically a demon. So yes.
Ryan, how many demons have been in the lands of Gaia before?
0.
It's
It also might be pretty funny to point out that there's a pretty strong likelihood that she's also like snapping her head between focus on you and focus on something
Oh
else
yeah,
in the
she's
room.
like she's
So that's
Yeah.
a good point too.
Yeah, audible
Yeah,
cracks every time too. Like fucking
there's
it is a
definitely
good
been
point.
one demon since I've been here. This one's sort of a fiend, but there's at least one that entered and then left.
Yeah, we've
I
been
summoned
talking
it.
a lot of like the perspective of the party entering this place, not about a lot of your perspective, Alicia. So as you sit around here and sort of taking stock, it's worth noting some of the quirks of the group, we shall say. But yes, it's a very good point, Silenos, that you do indeed maybe throughout the duration of Secrets are almost like talking to an imaginary friend in a real other would be very easily seen, and especially with your passive insight. Seemingly talking to an imaginary friend, and she claims that her raven's a demon, but you've been here long enough to know that that is not a demon, that is a fey creature, though she seems to be deluded to thinking that. Ouroboros
She
seems
just
to be
hopes it
Ouroboros.
is.
Maybe hopes it is. Yes, Ouroboros seems to be Ouroboros. Silenos seems to be Silenos. Of course, we're all discounting the incredible magic items they possess. And Thalia is Thalia, but it is, we all know what's going on with Gyasi, that he's just kind of not all there. Not all there.
It's just downcast, looking at his drink.
I was gonna say, Ryan, would I be able to go outside of this little hut that we're in, and say a private prayer?
Of course you can.
Yeah, I want to go outside and I want to send a prayer to Hermes. Just as the messenger god and as someone who obviously would know of Gyasi's passing, as he is the one who deals with souls and stuff. I would just send a prayer to him, and just say, Your Expediency, it's me again. I know we've only interacted a few times, but Gyasi really needs you. His soul has been traveling back and forth a lot, and I think he's stuck somewhere in the middle. He needs something to anchor him back. Can you try somehow to get a message from his mother? Something to keep him going.
I want you to make me a religion wisdom check.
So just like a wisdom skill, or sorry, how does that work?
So you're proficient with religion?
I am, yeah.
Then roll me just a wisdom check of a skill you're proficient in.
That's a 19.
19.
Can I use luck?
Sure.
Oh my god, it's worse. 19.
19. You feel, you pray, but it feels, you know that you're in a place that no god has ever set foot in. You're in a place that is not governed by their domains. And thus, your words are perhaps very likely beyond their ability to hear. But I will say, Silenos, I'll let you roll me. I'll say you roll well enough that you'll understand this as you're praying. To speak to someone is to, especially you who is so equipped with darkness and understands absence and shadow. When you are in stealth, when you are in some place of obscurity where someone doesn't know where you are, when you speak, you draw attention to where you are, to your location. You don't get the sense that you reach Hermes in this moment, but you get the sense of this as you sort of consider this. If you are successful, if you do reach a god through this, they can find exactly where you are, and thus perhaps step into this place.
Okay.
But in this moment, you feel like your words they fall upon deaf ears.
I'll just consider that. Think about it. Think about darkness in this place and how it feels, how my power feels, and yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
So,
yep.
As we're in the hut,
Katara goes, excuse me.
Yeah.
Could I? Yeah, no, just.
Yeah, thank you. Katara is gonna look over her shoulder and say, "Yes, I think that's a good idea." And then look to Alicia. You've communicated what the druids and the people here think of the gods. What is their opinion of the Titans?
I'd have to check with Ryan with this, but I presume not any better.
you have specifics on how the archdruids feel, but as I have said before, like these are they don't do politics. It's not really what the druids do. So opinions definitely vary. Why don't you make me an insight check?
Insight check on like the
mood towards all of that stuff.
Okay.
That war going on somewhere else.
22.
22. I think it would be very akin to like modern day a little bit, where like there's wars going on in the Middle East, and like some people might care about that, but other people are content to just let that be over there while we live our happy lives over here. I think that would be a really good analogy for it, where a lot of druids are aware that there is a mortal world and that news has come out that there is war, but it's a lot of apathy. There has been no large concerns by the archdruids raised to go to the mortal world or any action actually taken other than the status quo. So people are just kind of like aware of it, and it's probably an interesting point of conversation, but it's not something anyone feels passionately about one way or another. The druids seem generally content to let things just be as they are.
Okay, I would compare it to people might think, oh, that's terrible for them, terrible for them over there, but for them over there, you know,
That's really unfortunate for you. For you.
Absolutely. Not my problem.
Sorry. Canadian Tire's calling me, even though I left them a message. So I'm trying to think back because I remember Leonis talking to me. I think I even peeked into his mind, but maybe I can't remember. When he was talking about the devastation of the Titans and with Kronos from his world, has he indicated if like it's been like to one plane, or is it total across the board?
For one plane, what do you mean by that?
Because this is a different plane of existence, but like my understanding is when Cronus takes over, he's taking over planes. Like that's the gist that we're getting from the gods.
Maybe it's going to be a fairly high check, but maybe a history check to see what you can recall about what Leonis has said of the progress of his world.
It's good. It's one of my best traits, guys. Or my best.
I'll also put it there really quick for you, Alicia, that the arrival of Leonis in the lands of Gaia definitely sparked a lot of conversation and a lot of sort of like he's sort of a catalyst. Like people worry that he was a catalyst to things changing. Basically, he sparked a lot of conversation. Okay. He was delightful enough to be around, but his coming felt like a harbinger, to potentially bad events for a lot of people. Okay. So people are a little on edge, a little bit, not crazy on edge, a little bit. Anyway,
I remember nothing. I got a natural 1 or a 2.
Yeah, you probed. You got into Leonis's head a little bit, but you don't think you recall actually ever like truly asking him about his world in a lot. In a lot of senses. Whatever he said about passively, you kind of forget.
I asked him about the drows. That's what it was. I don't think.
Yeah, you've asked him about little things here and there, but generally you kind of don't remember.
Okay.
So it's true that he's dead. It's true that he's dead, Leonis.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know how the big man died?
Kronos unraveled him right before my eyes.
He destroyed it right before your eyes, huh? Well, here's the departed friends. Then she just throws back a drink for him and his memory.
I was.
But All right. Enough of the sad talk. Here's some more questions about your world, about what is it like beyond the gods? Are there is it like our world? What are the mortals like over there? And why does why does our good friend Silenos have such large horns on his head?
Silenos is what we call a satyr, and he also has goat legs and feet.
You should see his other horn. Sorry.
Get the fuck out of here.
He throws open the front door.
At least he gives out a big laugh about that.
Definitely has a wineskin, yeah, and comes in and drinks with everyone.
Oh dear.
Hope you found a nice pot to piss in.
Well, for what it's worth, I think the outside world is something quite beautiful, or at least it can be. It's a bit war torn right now, but love is what makes this world so special and worth fighting for and living for. So it really is something special. Maybe one day you can visit.
I'd love for you to show me around.
I'd take you to my home, Athens.
Athens? What's that like?
Well, where I'm from, there's beautiful villas with, I don't know, she'll like describe her Athens of like the affluent upper class, and she'd describe parties and beautiful temples, and her family she'd mention as well. She's got two younger sisters. But Athens is a city of noble individuals, intelligent philosophers, and she'll just like gush on about her city. She's maybe a little prejudiced.
At least she's just enraptured by it. It's like she's hanging on like every word. She's eager to hear about it. Are you all from Athens too? Is it the greatest place in the world?
No, definitely not all from Athens. Some of us come from much more humble beginnings.
A great king from the great king rose from small places. Tell me more. And she just sits beside you like, tell me more.
Well, you could just call me Ouroboros, by the way. The king thing is kind of like sort of official, not really, but anyway.
Scared of what you're going to be? Of what you are?
He kind of like has a realization like from what you say, and he kind of thinks to himself for a second, and he's like, yeah. But I am from a very, very small monastery village up high in the mountains of Sparta.
Oh, Sparta. Have I heard of Sparta?
Fuck no, you haven't heard of Sparta.
I haven't heard of Sparta. I have no idea.
Give me a history check. There are, as you know, some in these lands who are a little more knowledgeable. And hey, you may have spoken to Leonis. I might have told you some tales.
Hey, you can fail it because me personally, I would love to describe Sparta to a new person.
12.
For whatever you spoke to some of the more worldly druids and even Leonis himself, if you decide. Look, I want to get it out of the way actually. Alessia, how much do you think that you, when he arrived, how much do you being an archdruid, you would have had more arcs access to him than others in the land? He would have been more interested to speak to you than with your sort of influence here, how much do you think you interacted with it? In what capacity?
If
And if you
the
don't want to say out loud, you feel free to message me that too.
like what I know about the outside world.
No, Leonis. How much do you think you
Leo.
interacted with this guy when he came around?
I think I would have spoken with him quite a bit. I don't want to spoil anything about the other archdruids, but I was interested in what he had to say.
Fair enough.
I learned
Sure,
quite
that's
a
all I
bit, I
needed.
think.
Yeah, sure. That's all I needed. But yeah. So as you spoke to him, and there was much business to do, and some other druids around, you haven't heard anything of this place. This is not a place that is known to you.
I can tell by the look on your face that you have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. So allow me to give you the short of it. Sparta is an idea. Sparta is the idea that a man is only a citizen from the contributions he gives to his country. It is a land of the greatest warriors in all of Greece. It is also home to many archaic traditions, one such as slavery, to which I was encompassed in that lifestyle, made to fight every day from ever since I was a boy. But I am now a citizen.
Let's see. Athens sounds more pleasant. No,
in some ways.
No offense. And Ouroboros it is. You can be the king out there, and here you can be Ouroboros. All right.
Thank you for the reprieve.
And the rest of you, like to save on time, like the rest of you want to give anything quick? Say anything.
I think as long as we want, we can.
Okay.
Save on time.
Gyasi's kind of giving me the silent treatment right now. Gyas, Katara, Silenos, do you want to say anything?
Well, can we tell him?
Who's your friend? Well, who's your friend?
Is Katara talking to me there?
No, she's talking to her friend.
No, Silenos, because he like kind of has a connection to you, will look over and say, "What? Tell what?"
Oh, just where I'm from, I suppose. Different story than the rest of you.
But
Yeah, you're gonna need another. You're gonna need another cup for that story.
Feels like I have plenty. I have plenty. I have plenty. Let's see. Are you? Can you keep? The question is, Ouroboros, can you keep up with me?
Oh, I wouldn't try that. How old does Alicia look? I know it's impolite to ask women that, but.
How old am I? Well, first of all, fuck you. Second of all, I would say she's woman in, I guess, her early 30s, I suppose. Perhaps.
Okay.
She would seem that at least.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But
please, Katara, tell us the tale if Alicia wants to hear it. He knocks
Oh,
one
look.
back.
I will look to Silenos since I'll go look back and forth between Silenos and the friend to see if I should talk. Yeah. And then the neck falls off. No, I'm just kidding. You think I should tell her?
She saved us. What do we have to lose from them knowing where we were from? At least maybe it'll give them
Suppose
some
that's true.
sympathy for our cause.
I'll tell you a bit then. I've only been in the mortal plane for about 4 decades. Before that, I lived in the underworld.
Oh, the underworld.
Yes, my mother killed me.
Ah, I see. Did she? Alicia pours another drink. Pours another drink. Do you want any?
No, I don't eat or drink.
Oh,
But
very well.
I'll take hers. I'll
It feels
flush.
like keep
She'll
that.
hand you the glass that she hasn't been drinking from.
Here's another one, and at the end, Alicia just fills up another one because, okay, this is a story.
That's about it. Killed me as a baby. It's okay, I killed her a little while ago.
Good for her. The dead mothers, huh?
Yes.
That you did, Katara. I'm from the forest. I'm Artemis's only son, so this bunch over here, and he'll like smack Ouroboros on the back of the head way too hard.
Mother.
These guys are my only family. But it's the family you make, and we're all from different places, but we all come together, and I think that's kind of what we're trying to make become more of a thing.
So you grew up on the forest all alone?
No, I had guardians that watched me at a young age, who were slain by this creature, at which point I was taken in by Artemis and her huntresses and taught the ways. But I never knew that she was actually family. Up until recently, that creature was still in the lands until Ouroboros helped me to fell it.
Yeah, it wasn't that hard.
Yeah,
So he helped.
Ouroboros just kind of put his head in the thing's mouth, and the thing choked.
Right. That's what happened. Yeah. He kicks a coal over at Silenos' feet.
Licks into some of the hair on his leg.
It's like, oh, you two like brothers. So he helped you kill this monster that held you imprisoned, if I'm correct.
It slayed the people who I thought were my parents at the time. Though we were attacked in the forest. It was a great hydra. And it slayed both of them. I was only saved by the huntresses who were in the area, or perhaps it was fate that had them there. But come to know that Artemis is actually, or as you say, the Slayer, is my mother. I've also, unfortunately, been given that title before.
Hopefully it's for better reasons. Alicia, if we're just gonna rewind for a sec, I'm just gonna do something. After Katara finished the story about and after finished the story about, oh, you're dead, mom, and after At least you did the toast.
Let's stick with just like the chronology of things.
Okay,
there.
sorry.
We start
Okay,
rewinding things.
I'm sorry.
It's gonna get complicated.
I'm sorry. You're right. Sorry. Let's keep going. Well, about me. I was a bit of a rambunctious youth who loved to cause trouble around here. That I started one or two fires on my own just for laughs once in a while. And let's just say that over time, through lots of hard work and being better at others at shapeshifting, I became the archdruid. Not as fancy as all of yours, but the story's mine. So it means something to me, at least.
You know, being here and you talking about that, it brought back a memory of someone that used to be with us. I guess she was tied into the power of nature more than even Silenos, and I don't suppose you would happen to know her, would you? It seemed like she had never.
Do you think I know every druid in the world, my friend? Ouroboros?
Well, it seems like all of you are holed up in one place. I don't know.
You have said, Ryan, would I know this person?
You most well. Have we put a name up there? You're like, I knew a druid once. Do you know who that is? It's not a lot to go on.
I'll name drop Celine.
She uses the name Celine, and maybe we say describes who Celine is a little bit. Roll a yeah, roll me a history check, please.
Okay. 18.
No, you never heard of this movie before.
I lean over.
I will say you do find it strange that there was just like a sort of like, I'm not gonna say rogue,
but wandering druid.
Maybe yeah, like a sort of a naturally like a druid in the mortal planes never really happened before, as far as you know it. Like someone's just like born there and just kind of gained the powers of Gaia without any sort of teaching whatsoever or influence. It's a new one.
Huh. Surprise. So just a wandering druid out of the woods, out of the mortal world?
Well, I think Thalia knew her best, but I believe her mother was Artemis, but I'm not really sure. No?
I can't remember. I don't think so. It was what was her godly parent?
I'll go whipping through the calendar back to
fucking 2 years
the
ago.
days of yore.
Mm-hmm.
Days of yore. This will take a minute to go recall anything about this.
Yeah. I don't mean to slow shit up, but
it's okay. I tell them about the goings-ons of the town here, about some of the about its citizens, about like who you can go to get some stuff. You know, if you're looking for it, you know.
Oh, do you need to stock up on some more diamonds and yeah.
Oh, you're out. You're nearly out of diamonds.
Diamonds are not easily found.
No, damn it.
They're here. Don't get me wrong, but at least like it is like here in the regular world where someone comes to you like, hey, do you have any diamonds? It's like, what? Like you just come to my house asking for diamonds? What the fuck? It's a very sorry.
He just offered. He was like, we've got
she.
Sorry.
Oh, you offered. All right.
Do you if people I know who could get you things?
Yeah, there's definitely people who could get you things, but it's still a very rare commodity here. Is all I mean to say.
Well,
That is not
well,
one of the things.
well, wait, it's Lady Thalia, if I might call you that. I got, I'm I'm not a little short on diamonds myself. It's not exactly easy to get. Might be more common out where you're from. I'm surprised you don't have more of them. I expect every stranger would come up and offer you them to you.
What was that last part?
I'd expect every stranger to come up and offer them to you just to saying hello to them.
Well, that would be quite lovely. Maybe in the cities. But we haven't had a chance to stock up for quite a while.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've got people here who can help. Let
Mm.
me just check something.
Can't you druid types just like
Uh,
move the soil until you get down to diamonds or something?
So just to be clear about Celine, she was much like Silenos believed himself to be, was like watched over by Artemis for all
Okay.
intents and purposes, but was watched over like by many hunters might be. But was not explicitly a demigod as far as you all knew.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Just an odd coincidence.
Well, they've given me a lot to think about. I've got I've got lots to think about. I know it's been a long day for you all, and I don't want to keep you up for just too long. And I know there's plenty of you around here, trust me. But there are plenty of beds in this big old tree I call home. And my helpers can definitely help you find a room to lay down in.
Well,
Lay down, but
uh,
I'm sorry, hey, thought you saying something, and she's as Alicia sits right next to Ouroboros, leans next to him.
yeah, I was saying if you don't mind, I'd like to bend your ear for just a little bit longer.
I'm flattered. We're flattered. But is it something you want, something secret, or you're just telling in front of everyone else here?
Oh, no, yeah, in front of everyone, I say this.
Don't be timid, girl.
Sorry, maybe I misunderstood. But
I think Alicia was asking, is this something you want to talk to Alicia in secret, or are you okay to talk now in front of everybody else?
oh, like Silena said, we're family, so anything can be said in front of my friends here. But no, I was just curious what more you could tell us about the back door to Olympus, if anything.
Ryan, how much do I know about the back door to Olympus?
You know plenty, but nothing that you to tell these people about what you know of the back door would be breaking the sacred trust of the archdruids. As to reveal such information would be something that the camels would have to, at least in a majority, agree upon, if not unanimously.
I see. I look. Alicia just rolls at it, looks and spins her glass for a little bit and thinks, and just says, "Well, you get, well, druid secrets, my dear. Dear, you've all given me quite a lot to think about. I think about. I know I've always wanted to see the outside world, but now, I'm sure some of you may be tired and want to turn in for a bit. I myself am not quite ready for sleep yet." And she's like leaning next to the big mountain man Ouroboros as she says this. I'm going like I wouldn't mind staying up for a little bit longer. A few hours longer potentially. She looks at Ouroboros. And I don't know about you, but if any of you want to stay up with me for a little bit longer, as she picks up the bottle of wine and a few cups. My room's up that way. And as she's walking away, she looks back at all of them and says, "I have a very big bed." And she it looks from Ouroboros over to Thalia, gives her a wink, and walks away up, and slowly walks her way up to her room.
This is
Yeah.
Silenos' invisibility cloak.
During the duration of the flirtation, Silenos mysteriously vanished entirely. But yes, you were. Alicia disappears up the stairs.
It's the biggest. It would be the biggest room with the biggest doors.
Yeah.
So Thalia turns to Ouroboros and says, I think we just got propositioned.
He'll like lean in, and he'll be like, you know, this kind of thing doesn't happen to me often. Is that what that was?
Happens all the time when you're with the Amazons, buddy.
No, it wasn't proposition.
Yeah,
It was
That was
demanded.
very scheduled.
It is
You're right,
mating
no.
time, mortals.
You're right. You're right.
Absolutely. I think Alicia has her eye on you, and me, of course. And that's no surprise, but she has her eye on you as well.
Yeah, I mean, she was giving you a pretty big head.
Well, you too. Did you see how she leaned into you during conversation?
Yeah, I reckon so. I mean, I don't know. I just kind of assume that everybody, you know, is just in awe at all times, you know.
Yeah, it's always good to get everyone's hopes up before we let them down, huh?
Gonna put a bell on him.
Well,
Yeah, so you gotta track that motherfucker, man. I'm like, during this whole shit, like I'm trying my best to like keep Gyasi like into the group, you know, just with little gestures or, you know, little side comments to him. But anyway, back to Thalia.
well, I was just saying that she's all yours tonight. I'm actually not quite feeling up to it as much as I'd love to. Maybe opportunity will present itself again soon.
Well, I also feel like if I were to accept this proposition, then Alicia would be less inclined to help us, possibly.
Well, if you're doing your job right, she'd be more inclined.
Ooh.
And how exactly do I do my job right, Thalia?
Remember the Sappho's poems that I read to you a long time ago?
Oh man, that was
We were in a cave, and I'm pretty sure I read them out loud. Yeah.
I was in my sleeping bag. Damn.
As you two are talking, you can hear whistling from upstairs.
Whistling.
Well, it seems someone is getting impatient.
Well, good luck, and I'll cast enhance ability on you.
What are you enhancing?
I'm gonna enhance. What was the so you can do performance?
Athletics, acrobatics, or performance. So charisma, dexterity, or strength.
Yeah, we're gonna do. Well, can I do strength?
Yeah,
Yeah, for athletics.
sure. Ouroboros, you're not raging in this moment, but you feel that same sort of like careless. This is different than rage in this moment. This isn't like not caring about your limits and just pushing past them regardless. This is more like you just feel like a bear. You feel like a strong guy.
Oh, bulls endurance.
You feel like a fucking bull in this moment. You know what they bring bulls out to do.
Oh boy. Like he like kind of like balls his fists up, kind of like flexes a little bit, and he's like, what did you do to me? What's going on here?
He folds his leg over. He's feeling a little strong.
I just give you a little boost is all.
Oh my god, what do you think's gonna happen?
Shit. All right. All right.
It only lasts an hour, though. I mean, I'm sure that's plenty of time, but.
Oh, I won't nearly last that long.
Oh no.
Oh,
And
shit. I saw that coming a mile away. That was great.
Only an hour.
All right. All right. I can do this. It's Amazon. What the
Can I ask, why is Ouroboros so scared of sex?
Do we hear
this
his
entire
like
campaign,
hyping
he's
himself
scared.
up
He
on the way
he
up?
doesn't.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular belief, he tries to be very caring, and doesn't use his strength, but he always ends up using strength anyway, and then he feels bad. It's like I'm sorry. This
You're
was
like Hancock.
this was terrible.
Like
I was
Mr.
gonna
Hancock. Yeah. Where he,
He doesn't
blows
get
a
any
hole in the roof.
complaints.
He blows a hole in the roof and he's like, that's not fair to anybody. I'm sorry about that.
Underrated movie.
Right.
Movie.
Like,
But anyway,
yeah.
Ouroboros, you apparently not the everlasting, heads upstairs, and will, Alicia, the door will open. The imposing, barbaric Herculean figure of Ouroboros steps into your chambers.
What
You don't have
Ouroboros?
chambers, your room.
Room, chambers, whatever, same thing. On the large bed in the shadows, drinking drinking a glass of wine, finally noticing someone came up, is a hold on, is you see a lithe and flexible nude woman waiting there on the bed,
And
seemingly expecting someone.
And with that, we will fade to black.
And she also casts enhance ability. Bears enhance ability for Constitution. Bear's endurance.
Fair enough. Bear's endurance.
You're gonna need it.
You're gonna need it, bitch.
You might be Zeus's son, but tonight I'm your daddy.
Whoa!
Oh my god. All right, I need everybody. Okay, holy shit. All right, so I need athletics. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm doing this wrong. Con save for both of you, please.
Okay.
The saving throws. This would be a straight rolls for both of you.
And so, I don't have advantage.
That's only for ability checks.
Okay.
Get temporary hit points. So
Okay.
if he beats the shit out of you, you're good.
Okay.
I'm not that kind of
I know you're
person.
not.
Jesus.
I know you're not.
Okay.
This is where Ouroboros' complex comes from.
24, Ryan.
He's afraid.
Wait, I've got a really important question.
Okay.
Is my room within 60 feet of theirs?
I don't know. Where's everyone sleeping tonight? 'Cause this is a house for like one. this isn't like a big abode. Like you just
It's
like
there are a couple spare
seemingly-
rooms.
I probably wouldn't say so. This is it's 2 floors, which is miraculous for sort of druids. You guys are a little more humble. I think
So-
to have a home with multiple rooms would be considered like taking more than your fill of nature. But you certainly have 2 floors of that. So you can sleep wherever you want, Thalia. Would you like to sleep within 60 feet?
Yes, I would like to sleep within 60 feet.
You
And
can sleep in this. I assume Alicia's left the home open to all of you, so you're like sleep around the fire. So you want to,
Oh yeah.
it's comfortable. There's furs and such. So yeah.
okay, sweet. I'm gonna use my deck of oracles to change that to a 5.
Wait.
On Alicia's con save.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, what? I got a 24. Wait.
So what's your con modifier?
My con modifier. Hold on.
Your con saving
con-
throw modifier.
The saving throw modifier is I have my ability for Constitution is +5.
What about your saving throw?
+11.
So
there
that
we go.
13
5 + 11
turns
is still
into-
16. So Alicia's con save ends up being 16. What's yours, Ouroboros?
A 20.
20. All right, folks. I need you guys to roll me either an athletics, acrobatics, or performance check. Ouroboros, you'll have advantage on athletics.
Excellent.
I'll do acrobatics.
Oh
Sure.
shit!
I said she's flexible.
Ouroboros, I
Alright.
like the idea that Ouroboros wants to be like use charisma here, but ends up always going for
It was
strength
like-
anyway.
Exactly.
He joins her
I
in the
get too
bed,
excited.
but suddenly she pushes him on top. She pushes him on bottom. Okay. Oh.
All right. Well,
Only
praise the
two-
black on the
Only a
details.
5 acrobatics, actually.
5 acrobatics. Oh,
Oh
all right.
man.
All right.
Oh,
Ouroboros.
can I have luck? I have luck. No, wait. I have inspiration.
All right, go for it.
This is the best time to use it.
This is the best time to use it.
10.
All right, 10.
Better.
All right.
Not
well,
bad.
come on.
Not bad. I will definitely say Ouroboros is given like a fucking like a
What do you
high
got?
five like across the fucking room, kind of like because he knows
Okay,
knows.
I got you. You just like you look up into the air and you're like, you can
Yes.
you can like a nod to the air.
All right, and all right with advantage. God damn it. 26 athletics.
God damn it.
26 athletics. At a certain point in the evening, the tree starts to creak a little more than is comfortable, and perhaps those of you who are residing downstairs find yourselves out of the tree home as the bark cracks under the weight of Ouroboros' might. And so I will say, Ouroboros, you absolutely meet the con save of Alicia of 16 and do more than satisfy. In fact, you probably break half the shit in the room, just, if not the tree itself, in a number of places.
He just feels bad after.
But
She's
a-
Alicia, as for you, unfortunately, you're a little overwhelmed. Like you've never experienced anything like this in your life. This is you're absolutely completely overwhelmed by the moment, and you do not manage to satisfy Ouroboros, but he fucking rocks your goddamn world.
Mm-hmm.
Ouroboros,
I-
kind of cunningly, probably after the fact, he'll be like, oh wow, so they don't do it like that here, huh? Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
do
no, you didn't like all the scratching, did you?
I will say, true to give credit to you, Alicia. Alicia doesn't satisfy Ouroboros as much as you might have liked, but she's a fucking animal. She's like literally almost feral in the situation.
I think Ouroboros is not as satisfied because there was a lot more scratching, pinching, biting, slapping, and hair pulling on her end than he's
a lot.
used to.
Where are we pulling hair from?
It was like The
Got
beard.
a plunger on my fucking head.
The beard. I was gonna say the beard, like,
What is this? What is this?
like, come on.
I'm dead. I'm fucking
You
gone.
hear a few animal roars from upstairs for some reason.
You guys are literally hearing like cat sounds and shit. Anyway, let's move away
Don't
from
watch it.
that.
Don't watch it.
But we're gonna move away from that experience. But
Thank
members
God.
of the village and certain animals definitely crowd around the actual trees. The tree, like the entire tree is swaying under the might of the demigod Ouroboros. And Alicia, you survive, which is great. Anyway, moving right along. We'll immediate regretfulness. So usually I provide a charisma bonus to the individuals who are satisfied, but since it's PC versus PC Ouroboros, I'll simply give you inspiration.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you
like
for
that
that.
inspiration, don't you?
Man.
Moving along.
I had to do that. I'm sorry, dude.
No, it's all good. Moving right along. What's everyone else doing with it?
So actually talk to Thalia while everyone's away, and Katara is probably in a conversation of her own, and Gyasi's got a bit of an internal monologue going.
Sure thing.
As Silenos and Thalia are alone, let's just say, Thalia, I'm just I wanted to say I'm sorry about everyone mentioning Leonis and everything that happened, and I'm sure all of this must be a great reminder.
That's very kind. It is. It's on one hand really nice to hear his name and remember him, but it also is hard to hear as well. You're very kind.
I get that. I'm worried about everyone. Gyasi seems like there's nothing there. Katara has an affliction of her mind that none of us are powerful enough to help. Just nervous about all of it.
Yeah. I've been scared to mention this to anyone, but I worry that maybe my magic did that to Gyasi. I just try to help, but he told me not to bring him back last time, and I never took him serious for a moment, but I wonder if I should have left him be.
You'll see Silenos kind of shudder a little bit. I remember what it's like, kind of in between. And it's just a lot to come back to right into the fighting, I think. At least myself, I've been given the grace of having everyone around me protecting me, doing everything they can to bring me back. Not shocked. I think it's just jarring having your soul being torn back and forth between places. Don't blame yourself, though. You're the reason we're all still together and fighting. You pick us up when we're down. You motivate us. You were just doing your job.
It does make me wonder, and I don't know how to help Gyasi either, and that's even worse.
I don't know either. I was thinking some a memory maybe bonded to Greece, to our home, maybe to Hermes, to his mother, but I couldn't get the message out. Feels like we're kind of surrounded by darkness, and Silenos would look around and get like an existential look in his eyes, and then I can't seem to get the message across. I don't know how to help him anchor him back to us, remembering what he's fighting for.
Well, it's a really good idea to trigger him with a good memory to bring him back, or at least a powerful one. And I wonder if maybe it's his sword, but maybe it could be us. Maybe we could bring him back. Maybe there's some way we could get through to him.
Yeah. Anything we can try, I'd be happy to. Maybe I'll just talk to him for the next little bit, just seeing how he's doing, reminding him of everything and stuff. Let me know if you have anything else you think.
Maybe we'll all take turns trying to bring Gyasi back. It's better than doing nothing.
Yeah. Can't
As
hear
you
you,
two
right?
stand outside, and you talk about these things, the reemergence of Leonis's presence in your life, Thalia, your Silenos, your worries for your companion Gyasi. You find yourself in those moments, but you can't help but also being able to take satisfaction and peace in the moment. And it's nighttime, and you look around yourselves and see a familiar but enhanced and strange world. You see little firelights, little fireflies buzzing around the trees. Um, you see an array of stars unmarred by the moon. There is no moon here, Silenos, only stars. You see a vast amount of them that ignite the sky like a map of magic itself, holding untold secrets. And you also hear, as the darkness prevails, you hear out in the wilds, you hear very close at hand, even from the village itself, you hear the sound of many, many, many wolves and other creatures begin to react to the nights, and other more nocturnal creatures come alive, and a balance between predator and prey that you don't understand emerges. That it's there are things that worry you, but it's hard not to feel some sense of peace in this place.
Just for conversation's sake, if Silence looked up, does he see constellation?
Make me a perception check to look for constellations.
It's a 16.
16. You look up.
Does he see one particular constellation? Orion?
You do not. You do not. You do not see the
Okay.
constellation of Orion. It's a whole new set of stars as far as you can tell. Like the ones that would be easily recognizable, the Big Dipper, the North Star, the Belt of Orion. These constellations are not here. And though you think it can't be true, there almost seems to be twice as many stars in the sky. And all new different variations of constellations and little sashes of comets that cross across the sky. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. Nature is quite in balance here, Silenos, and you feel your power is, has it always been in your life? It's sort of that martial hunter's nature, that predatory sort of action and reaction. But here it feels serene, your power.
Yeah, I think maybe I'll just invite Thalia to just sit with me in the grass. I'll lay down like a little pelt that I have. And I'll just pull out like not like a candle, but like just like a little wick and light like a little bundle. Um and I'll just kind of sit and like enjoy the nature and take everything in with her, just like holding her hand. And as I do this, I'm just gonna be more so for flavor, but cast a primeval awareness of just me kind of connecting with the nature here.
Absolutely. You do so, connecting with the nature here, and you feel just tons of blips go off. You'll not sense any celestials of any kind, other than what faint power extends from Thalia herself. You won't feel the presence of dragons. You won't feel the presence of undead. But you feel the presence of maybe a little bit that pervades off Katara. Yes, indeed. I couldn't forget that. But you will feel plenty of Fey creatures, more than you've ever felt before. Trying to remember everything you get. I think you just get those like
Yeah, it's
screaming
like
creatures, right?
dragons, fae, fiend, elemental, undead, but it's not even a huge deal. It's more so
Yeah.
just him connecting, and as he senses more fae, he'll just feel more connected to himself, but also to Thalia, and I think he'll kind of feel the celestial energy off of her in this place, and just feel connected to her, and just take her embrace, and just say, "I'm really grateful for, um, the." Said we're all family, but I do mean it. I feel more connected to this place, but you guys are the people that I feel connected with.
Likewise, brother. And she'll like kind of cup your hand in hers and put her head on your shoulder. Um, I'm I'm so fortunate to be a part of this family. Yeah, and she'll enjoy her time with Silenos that evening.
I will say one thing for you, Silenos. And just giving you the information. There's a couple elementals too, very small lists of elementals too. But what's more important though is that as you're enjoying that moment, you allow your powers to sort of bind you to nature a little more intensely in the creatures therein. Feel the sort of, you're maybe the creatures around here might sort of shy from Thalia and her celestial nature, but you find it very endearing. But there is something behind it that you've never felt before as you span out your primeval awareness. There's something behind the trees. There's something behind the grass. There's something in the air, water, in the sky. There's something there that you've never felt before. Maybe a presence. It's a little far away for you to fully embrace or understand. It might require a little more almost meditation or concentration, but there's something great behind it all, something awesome.
Yeah, Silenos will just kind of feel that, and like Silenos has the alert feat. So I think one thing recently since he was reincarnated is he's always very jittery now. I think you'll see that jitter kind of just turns to focus, and he'll just look to Thalia with kind of a not worried but urgent look in his eyes. Thalia, I don't know if this is going to be a prayer, but can you just help me with this? I just want to try and connect with something, and you're one of the strongest sources of power I've ever seen. I can feel it.
If I can help, of course.
Yeah, and so I also like go on his like knees and take your hands and start doing like a prayer and whispering some words um in Sylvan, and just kind of connecting with this nature. He's going to try and like concentrate and focus in on this force.
This will take some getting used to. Whenever you've connected with a being beyond the mortal world, indeed, it's been like the gods and such and required prayer and connection to almost conscious entity. But as you do this, you're trying, like, whatever entity is there, whatever is out in the wild, I ask you, come to me now. Let me understand you better. And as you sort of put conscious intention outward, nothing comes to you.
Okay. Maybe I'll just kind of, as I'm praying with Thalia, I'll just on second thought, Thalia, I might just have to figure this one out on my own. Thank you for everything. You should just go inside. There's a bunch of stuff all around.
Well, you need anything, I'm just inside, okay?
Okay, thank you. And he'll just kiss your hand, and then he'll walk into the dark, and he'll just find like a nice looking forest to just sit in and perch.
Okay. You walk in, you see all kinds of strange creatures, sprites and fairies wandering here and there, owls in the nights, and you find a tree to, you know, maybe hop into with your martial leaps.
Just like that perfect like branch where you're just leaning up like this. You're sitting and relaxing. You can lay, but you don't have to move your body in any way. You can just fully embrace the nature and trust it.
You embrace the nature around it. You feel the hard bark across your back, imagining perhaps the life within it, the energy flowing through it, and hearing all of nature's symphony together in the night. Why don't you make me? Why don't you make me? Let's call it a survival check, as you sort of try and feel and understand nature. So that's what survival really is.
Sounds good. Gonna roll physical. This feels
Cool.
that's a 17.
17.
Yeah.
The dice tell a story. The dice tell a story.
Yeah.
As you lay there, you spend some time, you lay across it, and relaxation flows over you. You're high enough in the tree that you wouldn't have to worry about predators, and maybe throughout the time that you're there, you witness the natural circle of life. There were some things weird in the village there, like boars walking by lynxes and so on, which doesn't make much sense. But out here, you do see like an owl sort of silent as ever, sort of dip down and catch a mouse right out of the grass and eat it, and you kind of feel some like almost relief there. The natural order works as it always does, predator and prey and such. And you just close your eyes and feel the tree around you, the life around you, the essence of nature. And you push past, or better yet, you feel the tree. It's the tree that probably sort of most draws you in this moment. As the symphony sort of brings you into a lull away from consciousness, you imagine the energy flowing through the tree, something unseen but there, magic of nature itself. And you feel a pull. With your survival check, you're able to sort of feel almost like the connection through your own primal magics that you use in battle with hunter's luck and such. It almost feels like almost like a recycling energy. When your powers from the tree to you, you follow that power.
Yeah, I think I'll just connect and just kind of tap into it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Tap into it. You feel that sort of circular energy from you to the tree, and you kind of try and
Sorry. Can I actually flavor this a little way? Just 'cause I thought of something character.
Balance.
I think in a way, Silenos is very sympathetic of Gyasi. He recently died in a very graphic, sudden way, and then was brought back, basically in the exact same way. And he's just gonna think of the ferocity of nature and the powers that we use, and think of when he tapped into that lightning and the vicious strength of it, and then he's gonna think of tapping into a forest and feeling your feet in the or your hooves in the grass, anchoring you down. And he'll just think of tapping into that as a kind of like a source of life, not.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you think about, and your power is mostly based, yes, as you've said, it's very aggressive, it's very hunter, it's very predator. And you focus in on that, because that is sort of a powerful focus of nature. And you feel this cycle, and you try and focus in on that predator instinct, that attack, that force of nature. And as you're sort of focusing on the tree, as if grounding your feet, your hooves into dirt, much like your back is against the tree and your fingers are between the rivets of the bark, you do feel within that cycling energy, you feel that the energy goes up in the tree through you and then goes down. And you start to follow that energy sort of up the tree and down the tree. And obviously it ends towards the leaves at the top, and it goes down into the roots. And as you get to the tips of the roots, you feel something else, like something sacred, something beyond the tree itself. Maybe something connected to the tree, maybe connected to all the trees. And in your primal aggression, you find yourself almost hit a wall, the tips of the roots. You feel that there's more to explore, there's something beyond, there's something else there, something greater than the tree itself, something else. Maybe it might make you more powerful, maybe it might make you understand this place, maybe it's just, you don't know what it is, you can only speculate. Something's blocking you from fully immersing yourself into the earth and into nature. But you get quite far. You feel this energy like never you felt.
Sounds good. These dice are edging me story-wise. The last like 6 rolls I've made for like Nyx and this and like trying to understand. Oh,
Yeah, definitely. Well, you got some
Let's go,
stuff
Gaia.
around here.
amazing. Yeah, no, amazing. Yeah,
Hey,
he'll just
you
think
got some
about
stuff
that.
in the
He'll
lands
just,
of Gaia
he'll
that
just sleep.
might go through a
Your
lot.
dice are what? Whatting you?
Is yeah,
Yeah,
so you
because I said
Silenos. Well, Silenos, the thing also on top of that is like as you come out of that sort of feeling of energy, and you sort of attract back into your conscious self, you will you'll probably wake up as the sun rises and realize that you've had a very restful and interesting sleep. And we'll come to you in the morning, but yeah, you have this meditative experience with nature. Okay. Who else? Anybody else tonight?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, Ouroboros is busy upstairs, and Thalia and Silenos have gone outside to chat. I'm going to try to lead Gyasi with me to like secluded spot in the forest, because I'm gonna try something.
He has no problem following. He's
Great.
Yep.
okay.
You just sort of follow into darkness. Katara, you walk into the black.
Oh no.
What do you do to him?
So I'm gonna have him sit in front of me, and I think from like a mind perspective, she recognizes the madness, and she wants to try to help. She thinks she does.
Fair enough.
And she's going to first, hopefully she doesn't hurt him too bad. She wants to cast Dream on Gyasi.
Okay. Well, you'll note that Gyasi is not asleep in this moment as you've gotten
It's
him.
8 hours though. That lasts for.
Yeah. Well, you can sit there. Yeah, if you want to cast
I don't
Dream and sit there and wait for him to fall asleep. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
okay. Fantastic.
she wants to do the ritual cast Dream, and then once that's in place, because for some reason Dream isn't in concentration, she wants to cast Tiny Hut over her and Gyasi.
Well, I think the idea of dream is you have to be unconscious as well during liberation.
It doesn't. Let me read it.
Which is why it's not concentration. Because if you fall asleep, I think you enter like a fugue state or something.
The messenger can emerge from the trance at any time.
Yeah,
so it says that if the target's asleep.
It's logistics. You can cast Tiny Hut first and then cast Dream, but I think the idea of the trance is that you are like you're like in almost like an elven trance. You're semi-conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not doing other
Basically,
stuff.
she wants to try this, but she wants to protect herself.
You want to be safe. That's completely understand. No problem. Yeah, cast Tiny Hut. You cast the Dream spell. You'll wait for Gyasi to fall asleep. And indeed, Gyasi.
No chaos magic for either of those, so we're good.
Great, love that. So Gyasi will eventually fall asleep, in which I need to do some changes to the boards here for a second.
I also love the idea of Thalia going back into the hut, and Gyasi and I are gone.
Yeah. Guy's like, oh no, what is she doing? Nah! Let's see. I know there's somewhere I want to go. Here it is. And you will see Gyasi's dream. So Katara, you will witness until you are satisfied, and you can step in whenever you say, all right? As you are in control here. Oh, oops. I'm just setting the scene. Don't. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's great.
Oh no.
From Blood Harvest, the track Blood Harvest. Ooh, you could go better than that. I want something worse.
Go for it.
You enter into the dream state of Gyasi. So Gyasi, I'm going to turn over to you, my friend. You're experiencing stuff and things. And Katara, you're just sort of on the sidelines watching. Yes, Gyasi.
In the way a lot of dreams do, it's a series of non sequitur flashbacks.
Yeah.
There are scenes with the several brawls that we've had with the Titans, and Gyasi dies again and again and again. It's confrontations in Hades, and despite all of that preceding effort being cast below, and then it's another cascade out to the battle just getting into the gates and facing another Titan and falling again. It's just a perpetual state of those. And, it's kind of like a Groundhog Day where, it reels back and it runs again. The death is maybe a little different, but it's the same thing. And it always goes back to that judgment in Hades, and despite all of that being cast below, just in perpetuity.
So with that said, absolutely. So you yourself, Gyasi, will indeed find yourself, as you've said, in the midst of battle. You find yourself engulfed in a surreal, flaming landscape that is a conglomeration of your many experiences in battle. The throne room of Palas, the flaming forest where Persis was reaping havoc, of the underworld itself, and all of your many enemies that you've fallen to are there. There's the Tarask, Palos, Persis, maybe even Kronos himself sort of cackling loudly over top of it all. As you smell the acrid scent of smoke, and the ground beneath your feet tremble with every step of these magnificent monsters. And your friends battle here and far across the battlefield. You are alone. Your arm feels weak and flabby as you wield the sword of Perseus. Your legs are the wings on your very boots seem to almost like lazily flap, and your legs are you feel untrained. You feel incapable. You feel incompetent in your physicality. And in one foul swoop, the arm of Palos will come down and smash into you, and you'll feel your death as you smash against your tree, but somehow you get back up, whether you want to or not. You stand back up, and the Tarask charges you and clamps down on you and shakes his head and throws you through the forest, and you smash through about 5 trees, dying again, somehow getting back up. And you feel this disdain, this defeat, and for some reason you just keep getting up as all of them cackle and laugh as they bully you and throw you in circles, killing you as you, for some reason, immortally rise again, and all of your like Prometheus, as the eagle comes down every day to rip out his liver. You feel like this in the moment, just constant, unending suffering and nothing to do but suffer and die and suffer and die. But above the clamor, you feel a presence emerge. You see on beating wings, blinded, and with a sword in her hand. Not blinded, I got my imagery mixed up. But a sword in her hand, a vicious look in her eyes, and beating black wings, you see Nemesis. Lowering down through the smoke as all the other creatures cackle and look down at you, deciding amongst themselves who will get to kill you next. Nemesis, with a blaze in her eye and wrath as her fists are balled and her anger definitely perceived and pointed towards you, she says, "You have disappointed me. You called yourself a paladin of vengeance. You fall like a blade of grass under a boot. You are unworthy of vengeance." Another blow comes from the tail of the Tarask, smashes into you, and halfway through the dirt as you feel your legs crumble underneath you under the weight of the smashing, but you get back up for some reason. Is there anything you would do?
The will to fight is gone. You just drop and, shoulders hunched forward, arms just absolutely limp.
You see the sword of Perseus is in the dirt some 30 feet off. The blade sort of stabbed into the ground off to the side. Nemesis beats her wings down to the blade and simply raises her offhand, and the blade sort of into her own hand. And she sort of takes it from you, and you know, she's without words in this moment. The blade is lost to you, that vengeance is not in your hand. Powerlessness falls over you. But there's something else in the dream. In your defeat, in this state, in this broken warrior spirit that you have, you feel the soil under your feet. You feel almost as if there's a presence behind you. You feel that there isn't flame and heat in that direction, but almost like a soothing balm of warmth, like the sun or the whistling of the trees. It's just almost like a scent you happen to pick up in a crowd, or a sound you happen to pick up in a busy crowd, almost like that. You are immersed in this dream, but there is just that hint off in the distance, like a scent on the wind. But you sit here in this moment as your enemies begin to approach, and Nemesis continues to look down at you vindictively, angrily at your failures. Is there anything else, or do you continue to sit in defeat?
Very, very, very sadly, he'll probably just turn his back on the horde of monstrosities and kind of look over his shoulder, because he knows he's going to get hit. and he knows
Right.
that he's going to fall again.
Mhm.
But what's the cat level curiosity is still there.
Absolutely.
What is that other thing? And
Understood.
And then if I see the moment where he turns away, I'm gonna
see
try to
him-
change the picture.
So Katara, you see, and you will perceive this as well, Katara. Make me a perception check, Katara. Gyasi, for the first time, sort of reacts consciously, or maybe sort of instinctively, but nonetheless reacts to the scene rather than just allow himself to be ragdolled around. To see if you can pick up what's going down.
Oh my god! I'm gonna use a thing, because this is
Okay.
ridiculous. I don't like any of my dice.
Oh,
Do I even
I
have
couldn't tell
that?
if that was happier.
No, I've got like the last couple times I've played, it's ones. It is
I know,
terrifying.
you're fucking cursed, dude. You're fucking cursed.
100%. Oh fuck, I don't think I have it. I think I used it in the last one. So that's another one.
You go to change the scene. You see, you're like looking at this, and as you see like a moment of consciousness as you react in terms to look at whatever that was, you see that he reacts to something in the image that draws his attention more than just the desperation and defeat and destruction. And you see, like, we'll say Palas like comes over to like just fucking kick him through the scene and kill him again. And what do you?
Okay, so I sort of, because he was describing it as sort of a cyclical thing where it's happening repeatedly, I want to sort of take it back to the top, like to the beginning of the dream, the first kind of battle. And in his head, like I'm not revealing, but I'm gonna like kind of give him the whisper of like, how about we even the odds? And when he's battling, I want to reframe the mindset where every time he's basically gonna die and he has that moment, I want him to split.
In two?
I want to,
like,
yeah.
physically?
So I want, because like the idea of his soul is being split. And I want him to have that moment at the end when it's sort of at the Trask battle where there's now like his soul in a few, and sort of give him that ability as a group, like to pull together the ideas, like his, the souls that he has as a battle against the Trask.
Sure. And to be clear, Gyasi, it is completely, as I'm sure you know, this being an archdruid, this is entirely within your wheelhouse if you think Gyasi would understand what's being put down, take anything from what's being put down, be confused by what's being put down, be apathetic to what's being put down. Entirely up to you. But in this moment, as you see at the top of the battle, you see Palas and one of his blades of disaster comes whipping in and like stabs you in the chest, just burning your chest open and disintegrating it with antimatter, and you flung through the forest. That blade splits you in half, and they sort of scatter across the battlefield. And as you feel yourself getting back up, fully formed once more, you look over and see, almost like a mirror, that other half of you, that second Gyasi, stand up in tandem with you.
That will definitely be a pause. And I can legitimately see him thinking aloud, isn't once enough? And now there's two of us.
My question to you, Katara, is second Gyasi equally defeated, or is this one verbose and heroic and all?
I wanted him, so my vision for this is I want to give him something to visualize when he sees the souls being taken, and I want to give him the battle at the end where he can basically, because the idea is like he's losing bits. I want him to understand that he has the control of the Gyasis and see if he can will those parts back to sort of piece them back together. Like they're there. Like I want to give him the visual of the souls and sort of let them aid him in that battle to see if he can change his own outcome. But he has to want it.
Well, let's not overly explain what you're trying to put down, because this is supposed to be interpreted, right? So we don't want to hand it over. No problem at all. No problem at all. So I'll say Gyasi, as you like thinking this and you look over, you notice that the other Gyasi sort of across the way, it looks similarly beaten and defeated, and you feel up to you, of course, but maybe you feel that creature, that other Gyasi is feeling the same way, and you have empathy there. You understand what it's going through, and it understands what you're going through. And as you make even the smallest gesture, it does as well. And you realize that it is, in some way, maybe like a mirror under your own will, however you decide to explore that, it does seem to be in your control in some sense.
And I get the impression that this is going to be, the intent is for this to be iterative, where, you know, the two of them get smashed, and then it's a faction of 4.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going for. So maybe you see in that moment, the Tarrasque bashes that one with its tail, and as it flies off the tree, maybe its arm gets ripped from its body like a starfish. Those two form into 2 Gyasi, whereas you're 1. And you begin to realize the pattern.
I think Gyasi would recognize whatever else is going on. There's an opportunity here, and would try to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. Even going so far as to intentionally going into, into melee contact with, any of these great things to increase his number.
Got it. So we'll say over the next minute or so, you, Gyasi, and the other Gyasis who seem to be under your command by your will enter the battle, but once again, your arms are flimsy, your legs are dragging, and you just have no competence in battle. And over the next minute, about maybe 20, going on 30 Gyasi are scattered across the battlefield, all as sort of crestfallen as you. And Nemesis, these portions that I control, I imagine, are reflecting your psyche, which is why I will say what I say. But as Nemesis floats down, and once again, the sword of Perseus, the only one, because there is only one sword of Perseus, lodged in the ground before you, some ways off. She says, "Try and try again. Haven't you done this? One enemy after another? Bring as many of you forth, but I see your truth, Gyasi. I made a mistake granting you my oath." Once more, she puts her offhand forward and draws the blade to her hand. "You are not worthy of the name of vengeance." And the creatures will begin to converge on you and the many other Gyasi that have formed, who also move limply and weakly and crestfallen.
So as battle continues,
as one last thing, you're going to have control here, absolutely. But one last detail. Again, seemingly not among, you don't know how you know, but you know that the other Gyasis aren't conscious of this. You know, though. You feel that wisp again. That almost scent on the wind. That almost whisper in the crowd. Something better. A balm of some sort. You don't know what, but almost from behind you, almost out of sight. Good time.
I just think that throughout the battle, he's going to hear, again, the idea, I'm giving him versions of himself, but he's going to hear like, "Come on, Captain, change the outcome."
Perhaps in the voices of sailors who have served under you, Gyasi. And correct me if I'm wrong at all, Katara, this is your design, but perhaps in the voices of sailors who have sailed under you and owe you their lives, Gyasi, here, maybe sort of in the back of your skull, sort of, "Come on, Captain, what are we going to do?" He's like, we've got to fight, Captain, come on! And you hear these sort of ghosts of past sailors that you have fought with, sort of ebbing you on the fight. But again, you have thoughts, and you have thoughts, and you have thoughts. And here we are again. Katara, you can make a perception check again, so if you interpret this spinning air.
Oh, okay. What dice do I use? Scared of all of them.
Okay, a little bit better. 16.
16? For all the turmoil and chaos and craziness going on and your own focus on the illusions you're trying to create, I don't think you interpret. Or you see Gyasi turn his head again in the midst of the chaos. I'll say you see that again, but you don't hear what it is he's hearing or see what it is he's seeing.
Okay.
If there's something there, it's the second time this is.
If I can notice that, I'm gonna try to basically not
you can
split.
You can
push back the battle.
cyberpunk move
Yeah.
through the dream as you wish if you want to try and get closer and investigate that portion of the dream unseen. But yeah, you want to push back the battle. How so?
So I'm gonna take the Gyasis that have formed. I'm gonna take them and the Titans, and I'm gonna push them away from the real Gyasi and sort of give him a bit of a distance from the battle, see if that gives him a new perspective of what he wants.
All right, Gyasi, you're suddenly whipped through a massive forest away from the blaze and the monsters who still see you and maybe begin their approach, but you and your 30 other crestfallen Gyasi warriors have a moment of reprieve from battle and death and defeat. You hear the voices, "Captain, please, Captain."
Gyasi will address himself.
Fair enough.
And he'll in voice of command address one of him. We'll draw their attention and her eye. You steal us the blade. This has to end.
One of them says, "What's the point?" The other one says, "We'll just die as we always have."
At which point Gyasi will turn and try to identify that bomb or surcease.
Got it. You turn, yeah. Do you want the description of that?
And
Okay.
he'll gesture to it. She's out there. We're the only thing keeping Kronos and the rest from destroying not only Greece, but eventually they'll cross to Egypt and they'll destroy that too. You have to do something. We have to do something. And if it takes spitting hate spite at that, I can't think of a different choice. We can't just stop. We can be tired and we can not necessarily see the point, but there has to be something.
In this moment, you kind of Nemesis sort of floats in proper dreamscape. Sort of things are just there and happen. And Nemesis is there once more. He says, "This is the might of your vengeance. Something must be done. I have failed in my choosings." But you do feel, as more you spoke about Egypt, her, and the destruction there, that wisp on the wind got louder. As you're like, we need to help her. And we don't stop it here, it will destroy things there. And as you sort of focus in on that being your pull, you feel a warmth behind you, like the Egyptian sun. You smell scents of maybe bread. Smells like home. The desert and the sea. And almost like you just turned around. Maybe, just maybe, she might be away from the fights, away from wrath and vengeance, away from Nemesis. If only you just turned, maybe she might be there waiting. Nemesis says, "This is your last chance for your soul, Paladin. Find your vengeance. Face the greatest evil and destroy it. Burn within your heart, or lay down and die."
Gyasi S, plural, will attack Nemesis because she's the greatest evil here.
Got it. As you converge on Nemesis, all of you find yourselves, drawing blades from your hip, daggers and such, not the blades of Perseus. As she holds it, you all charge at her, and she says, "Fool!" And as she turns her blade, she cuts through a swath of some 20 Gyasis in that moment, but leaves herself open. And then another 10 lunge at her. She swings the blade of Perseus, slaying another, and it's just you in that moment. But you find home. Your blade strikes in that moment as you find rage and anger in that moment to turn back on vengeance itself. And as you stab it into her heart, drag the blade down with anger, you tear the very essence of everything around you to Tarask, Perseus charging you. You almost seem to tear a hole through the dream itself, and you fall into it. And Katara, everything stops at once. The dream's gone. Gyasi is gone. Gyasi is not dreaming, he is not here. You are trying to connect with someone who is not here any longer. It is black, it is empty, it is void, there is nothing, there is no Gyasi. What do? You come out of your trance?
I'm still in the dream though.
Yeah, no, you're not in the dream. There is no dream anymore. For the dreamer is gone. The dreamer is gone. You're just in sort of the black. If this were the Matrix, you'd be in that loading, that white space, like the loading screen.
Is Gyasi alive?
You want to go check on his body?
I mean, he's right in front of me. Yeah.
You pull yourself back into your consciousness. Make me a medicine check as you look down on the supposedly sleeping Gyasi.
Mm-hmm. 18.
He is breathing and asleep and all of that good stuff. He's alive, but you don't know what happened.
All right.
But we're gonna come back to you, Gyasi, because you're unaware that you're not dreaming anymore. No, but of course you weren't aware you were dreaming in the first place. But give me about a moment. So I set the scene.
I thought I killed him. I got so worried.
I killed him! Oh,
Well,
no,
could you imagine? I take him into the forest and he dies? Like, I would be so dead.
But she will, like, seeing him breathe, she's just guarding him now, and she's keeping Tiny Hut going for those 8 hours. Like,
Trying to get the right.
creepiest guardian angel ever.
Creepiest guy.
Hey, if you're gonna have a guardian angel, you might as well have the creepy one, because it'll tell everything else, fuck off, all y'all.
It's true.
That was cool.
Gyasi, you wake up. You wake up in grass, tickling between your fur. You wake up as a blue sky with puffs of white cloud drift above you. You hear the singing of birds. You hear the scamper far off in the distance, and your sort of twitching cat-like ears as perhaps mice or some maybe fox, who knows, sort of makes its way through the brush. And as you look up and see that blue sky, you also see juxtaposed as an incredibly skyscraping tall tree with beautiful leaves and greenery spanning outward like a canopy specifically made for you. In the shade, keeping you cool in the heat of the day. This isn't Egypt, but this isn't the lands of Gaia either. This is more than this is as much harmony as you've ever felt. The blade's still in your hand you cut Nemesis down with. And you're not in armor or saddled with baggage. You're just in simple tunic, something comfortable. Feel your paws sort of feel the dirt into the grass. What do you do?
I think Gyasi will take a look at that blade, and he'll toss it.
It disappears into the foliage. You see a couple of creatures sort of scamper out from underneath the brush, and then sort of just peacefully find their way along. Nothing was harmed, but almost in a moment that makes you chuckle. Like you can't help but feel like the lightness of, oh, haha, some squirrels or whatever, you're startled. You kind of find yourself in that moment of kind of lighthearted humor.
Guess it's time to pull myself up to my feet and try to figure out where I am. Last thing I remember was being chewed on.
Damn right. You look around. You see almost like this tree is at the top of a hill. It spans down in a beautiful, like Montana, like beyond Montana, like Elysium. You've been to Elysium before. It's like this almost, but less celestial, more just the vibrancy of life. You see a long river flowing through a massive forest scape of healthy trees, a small waterfall, lush green life. That cat part of you almost feels a little at home, perhaps. You look around, you don't recognize this place, but you're not afraid. You don't mind so much.
Well, universally, the answer is to go up if you're looking for, where you are, trying to see if I can see the other folks. or
Yep.
any signs of people or place to get an orientation of some kind.
You begin to fly up, and then you look down. You're tethered. You do indeed have your winged boots on, but you notice in this moment, you do have chains wrapped around your wrists and your ankles, and they are bound to the ground by vicious blades, much like the one that Nemesis wielded, that sort of are driven into the ground like stakes and keep you from being free and keep you from being aloft.
That's annoying.
You look around, maybe you flutter back down. The chains aren't so long that you can't walk in the general vicinity, but you are staked down by this. And
yeah, we'll test the edges of the tether until I can figure out how to get these things off.
you're
Look for a
pulling,
twig or a tool, or
you look for a twig or a tool or whatever, and you look at the tree and you see it hanging on a low enough branch. There is a, funny enough, there is a branch that is shaped just right, like your lockpicking. And you think, I don't mean to put my hand up. If you think you could just get to that branch, it would give you what you need to break away or to fiddle your way out of this situation you're in. If you could just get to that branch, but it's just out of reach. And you notice beside that branch, as you look up at the grandness of the tree and take in the whole scape of its trunk, the imagination, you can see a face in the tree. It's amorphous, of course, but you see just the vaguest amount of eyes, mouth, maybe even full cheeks.
hello. I'm
It
talking to
doesn't
myself.
move. It doesn't move, but you feel in your heart that it sees you and it hears you.
I don't suppose you could push that over here, could you? I need to get out of this.
It doesn't come so much to you with words, but almost as if nature itself, in its grandness, would wonder, why can't you just remove the swords? Why did you stake yourself down in the first place?
It felt like there was a need at the time. The tide of material was going against us, and an edge was needed. But some advantages can't be borne.
You hear just faintly on the wind the sounds that you've heard before, almost played back to you, the sounds of flashing swords, the evil laughter of titans on the wind, and you have a sort of reactive moment where you realize it's just a sound on the wind. This presence would wonder, what is the point of fighting if there's nothing left of you after? What is the point of staking yourself down for the sake of advantage? What is the point of what you've done if afterward there's nothing left?
point is, if there's nothing left of me, it's fine so long as my mother lives. The point of, and he'll rattle the chains, taking up this burden was to buy her one more day. Whether we can succeed against Kronos and the rest, the only thing that I can do is anything that's within my reach to buy her one more day.
It considers with interest what you have to say, thoroughly. But the presence does wonder. Again, for your mother, for the world, for all you fight for, what about after? Your mother loves you. Your loss would break her heart. It wonders if you are not a person who seeks to lash out, much as you claim to be, but rather a person who means to defend that which you care about. Someone who means to kindle and shelter and preserve life rather than take it. And perhaps in all this time, that is what it is. And not so much ending, but making sure it has another day.
You're not wrong. The ultimate goal was always to preserve, to buy time. Once the outcome of the Titan's domination was clear, the destruction of everything, everywhere, that couldn't be abided. And it primarily can't be abided because she lives.
Mentity again considers what you have to say, and somehow, if it were possible, feel it smile. Feel it. You look up at that unmoving face, but maybe there's some smile, and you get this feeling that this entity, as you have this instinct to protect your mother, you get this maternal instinct from it, and it reminds you of your own mother. And that perhaps it is endeared by how much you care for her, but you hopes for the same for its children. You see the branch with the pointed stick, sort of, not painfully or like in an undead kind of way, but in a growing sense, faster than usual. The branch moves directly in front of you, and you see that tip almost extends into like a number of other branches that could make potentially full thieves' tool set, or on one branch almost looks like the hilt of a blade. On another one, there's possibility in this branch, and certainly escape, not more. The entity relays to you. It says, in not words but in emotion, that it would like to help, and it would offer you a way out of chains and swords, and out of vengeance itself. Or maybe a lighter, a way that, as you say, shelters life, and not tries to take it. It has offered you the branch, but only you can accept it. And it waits for you to accept it. And you feel yourself in that moment pulled by the chains, being drawn from this great place, this vision of light. But that branch remains there, and you look up and take one last look at this big, beautiful tree, and it, as if almost wanting, like a mother softly holding their child away from danger, holding their arm back from stepping into something dangerous, as if to say, I want to help. Please come find me. Please come. I'll give you to you if you accept it.
Gyasi is 800% about not being chained. His entire life has been predicated on movement. Being bound this way is as antithetical to his nature as anything is.
Absolutely. You feel yourself, the weight of the chains heavy. You can be in this place no longer. It literally pulls you beneath the soil and the dirt. And as it files around you, you see those last bones of light, the last image of the great tree fade into black. And you'll awaken as well. Or perhaps not the next morning, perhaps later that night, you will awaken peacefully, but perhaps to a less than peaceful Katala. And maybe that's where we will take our break. And we'll come back to Gyasi and Tarn.
I'm so proud of Gyasi.
I didn't break.
As you're like, I'm out, you like grab the door and the door like falls immediately like off the fucking wall. Shit, and you're just like you're like go to walk down the stairs
tree or
and
something.
they start falling out under your feet and you're like and the structural integrity of this home will need to be shored up by the archdruid probably on the morning.
I'll have my fellow druids fix it up.
Yeah, they'll do a little plant drawing maybe. Or something. But anyway, moving right along. So why don't we come back to Qatar and Gyasi? So Gyasi, here's what I'll say for you, my friend. As you awaken, and you can tell me if you want to take it another direction entirely, but I think what would make sense is you stick with the sort of effects of feeble mind for now. Maybe not, maybe less. It's up to you. It's your role play. But we would say that that if you wanted to find it, of course, that tree is sort of walked into your mind. Like you can recognize it and go toward it and so on and so forth. It's up to you how you want to come out of that dream, though.
I think he's going to come out. He's going to be. I'll use the term lucid carefully.
Fair enough.
But he'll obviously be looking for something, out at like the horizon's edge.
Mm-hmm.
He's no longer having that autonomous twitch to his hip that is stilled, but he's still not communicative. But he's looking for the tree, the someplace.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. What if we said that? Yeah, you're sort of coming out of it a little bit, and I like the term sort of lucid, where like you're Gyasi up there again, but you're still like heavily burdened. I'm gonna use the word obsessed, though it doesn't feel quite right, with depression and the trauma and the sadness and the grief and all of those negative feelings about what had happened. So you are a conscious being again, but you're just not willing to interact with the world as of yet. Cool, fantastic. You know you're doing. You don't need me. Okay, so you, Gyasi, sort of are a little more lucid. You're a little more aware of your surroundings. Your senses are working and you're interpreting that fine, but you're still sort of very low. And you awaken to Tara. What are you doing as as you have witnessed Gyasi in his state and the dream experience?
Well, she would have kept Tiny Hut going, and she's basically just spending her time like, resting by like the trance that she does. She doesn't, because she doesn't need sleep, so she's just sort of keeping an eye on him. Can she tell if there's any like shift when he's like when he wakes, or does her mind? Because it'll depend on what she does. If she can see if there's something.
Make me I think for like a psychological issue, I think insight would also be a good check, but make me a medicine or insight check, your choice.
I'm so much better at insight.
Cool.
I can't get my okay. 17.
17. You see Gyasi's eyes sort of moving around a little bit more, like as before they were just kind of downtrodden, sort of pretty much just walking where his feet were going. Maybe even sort of like came up to walls and kind of like slowly shifted around those walls and really just looking at the path directly ahead for the sake of survival. Maybe now Gyasi's eyes are a little bit more active, a little more taking in a larger amount of scenery. You still see that sort of blankness. You get the sense that Gyasi is a little more lucid than previously. You don't see the hand thing. So you get the sense that Gyasi is experiencing consciousness a little bit more lucidly, and he's coming out of it. And what you did had an effect, but he's not 100%, and he seems sort of still slightly unresponsive.
I think she's gonna try. She doesn't want to delve, but she just wants to see if, when she does detect thoughts, if she gets any surface thoughts, to see if there is some, like, she wants to know there's an improvement, and sort of get a sense of, because he was reaching for his hip before. She wants to sort of see if she can sense anything else, but so she's going to cast detect thoughts.
So Gyasi, what would be your surface thoughts?
The overwhelming surface thought is, where is she? And as that thought pings around, Gyasi's head will come up and will kind of look around a little bit.
Do you want to see above? And I'll like point to the sky.
And he'll nod his head. Yes.
She'll cast fly out the two of them and lift them up.
Roll it up, Dark Wizard.
The other one was okay, by the way. I have been rolling for gas. I really don't want to hurt Gyasi. Okay, so I gotta roll again.
Don't worry, my friend. I'll help you. This is a bonding moment. Oh shit, that's exactly what's supposed to happen, huh?
I did roll a natural 20 on the chaos.
All right, here comes some chaos. Hang on.
Oh no!
The curse is alive and well. We're having such a moment.
Oh, damn it.
Why did I have to read that book?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, roll me that D100.
50.
Good deeds and punishment.
Yeah, no good deed.
Yeah, 50.
Oh
God, please don't make me hurt him.
Roll me 2D. I'll do it.
Okay.
You don't know what's going on. You feel a bit of a sort of like as you feel the wild magic surge, and you're like, oh shit, and then you feel it travel down your left arm, almost like a nerve shock, sort of down your arm and back up, and then kind of just fades away, and your arm feels fine. It's like nothing happened.
Does it look the same?
Yeah, it looks
okay,
just like your arm.
So I'll fly up with Gyasi to see.
You guys fly upward Katara sort of guiding Gyasi. And keep in mind, this is the middle of the night, and there's no moon, there's no great amount of light. So you'll only see so far, but you guys, similarly to your vision, Gyasi, you see the like sprawling. Actually, this is a pretty interesting moment. Now that it's the middle of the night. You guys only see in maybe like a mile, 2 mile radius, perhaps, of trees. Maybe there's like slight lights under the trees, nothing like fire. Maybe like you see like a couple of trees have a certain attention to them when it comes to like little fireflies, and maybe there's little blue lights in the trees, sort of signifying other sort of magical beings. But it's the middle of the night, and it is black out. And you see the stars in a beautiful array, but as for the landscape, it's far too dark to make out much.
Okay. We might have to try again in the morning.
But I'll see if he's going towards anything.
Yes.
It probably just will kind of pivot in place, look, and obviously can't see anything, and the inclination of perhaps try again in the morning just gets a nod.
Okay.
So yeah,
Take
she'll
away
lead
that.
him. She'll lead him back and actually like try to lead him back to, I guess, the hut, or not the tiny hut, but where everyone else is.
All right, you head back down there. You see Ouroboros coming out with like one of those like giant gallon water things from the top of water, like office water fountains, and you can find your way to. You guys can find your way to bed.
Hey. Sup?
It's got it's like
You might see some scratches on his back if you look closely.
yeah, it looks like he got attacked by a tiger.
He's been through combat.
Yeah. Well, actually, I would say it's only like not like full piercing of the skin. Like you're a Goliath, your skin is literally like stone, so it's
They
probably
tried,
like.
but they did not succeed.
All
You
right,
said
you
wild
guys.
animal noises.
Yeah, you guys all head to bed. You all get into your bed rolls at this point. You all go to bed. To your perhaps happiness, Ouroboros, you do see a slightly more lucid Gyasi moving a little quicker, his eyes wandering a little further than his feet. Still very like shoulders low, head dipped, a little more downtrodden, but definitely more lucid, more conscious.
I think he'll just kind of acknowledge that as he's sitting in the corner, drinking like gallon jugs of water.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys can all find your way to a very safe, non-random encounter-based long rest.
That
Ooh.
sounded targeted, and
Yeah, there might be at least one person here who wants combat at all costs. But that's okay. Don't worry, guys. I'll protect you. Anyway, you guys all get to your long rest.
I'll find it myself.
That is completely an option. Hey, who's up for killing things this morning?
Come on.
Yeah,
Come on. I only got 73 HP. Let's do it.
It's an option. It's totally an option. Oh, out of the tree, yeah.
Yoking up, Silenos.
Well done. But yes, you all awaken the next morning. The trees are tweeting, the birds are rustling in the wind, and another day has come.
How does it feel waking up from a rest here as opposed to the material?
Good question. Give me a minute.
I live to give you specifically those kinds of questions.
Yeah.
If I ask questions like that in day-to-day life, I'm pretty sure I would be like sent to an asylum or something.
The fuck do you mean? It's a 1 star, not great. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Give me a minute and I'll look through and I'll get back to you on that one. But
Okay.
at the very least, good physically. Like to like you guys have been waking up in like cities and war and all kinds of shit. You guys wake up to like the gentle rays of the sun and the singing of the birds and the like. It's very much like a like a old Disney cartoon waking up on a perfect day. Yeah. At the very least, it's like that. But I'm gonna go look for something a little bit more effect based.
Can we say during this sort of night that I unattuned from Pan's urn and put that in like the hole and then reattuned to the slippers? My slippers?
Certainly. Yep. No problem.
Great. Sounds good.
Is there like a body in the hole or something?
There's a few.
I just remember
Two
that.
bodies.
I gotta talk to my friends.
Bodies.
Ryan, I'll say, as Silenos wakes up and he's walking back in this wilderness that he walked through kind of the darkness, can he just do like a nature check and just kind of look around just at kind of the natural world here as opposed to what he knows?
Absolutely. Just sort of assess nature. Go ahead and make me. Let's call it a nature check, because this is sort of like comparing knowledge bases as opposed to tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Let me ask amongst the party. And any, honestly, really, I'd like to leave it private, but it doesn't really, okay, I just got to do it this way. Amongst the party, obviously not including Alicia, does anybody here for any reason feel like they intend ill will upon the lands of God?
No.
I don't think so. No. Okay. Nothing to worry about then.
Anything I would know?
Anything you would know? Do you feel like you cause ill will, Alicia, upon the
No,
lands
of course
Gaia?
not.
No. Okay, good.
There's something
Traitor!
Oh, traitor. But anyway, yeah, nothing bad happens, but you all wake up rather peacefully. You feel, I'll say your aches and pains, like from like working out or being sore from like the Trask battle or whatever. Like those are a little more recovered faster than you'd expect, perhaps. But Silenos, what did you roll?
16 nature check.
16 nature check. You wander around and there are some aspects of nature here that do not fit with what you know of nature. Like, again, the village where there's like beasts roaming around, totally outside of the natural order of prey predator. But you get the sense more and more these are druids. You're understanding that druids seem to have the power to transform into things. As you see some of them sort of like prowl up as like a leopard and then turn into like a druid woman who just sort of walks by and you're like, oh, cool. But then you go into the wild and you see, nature seems to be functioning quite well. In every essence, it looks like it's functioning as well as it can be. It reminds you of the days before the Titan battles, maybe even a little bit better. Like back when like the world was at peace, where nature was in balance. But even then, there were imbalances where, say, like a lynx would wander into territory that's not its own and start eating a lot of prey, and there was no predator to take down the lynx, and nature be thrown out of balance. It's not like that here. Every ecosystem seems to be very, very well balanced. There doesn't seem to be any excess of hunting or starving of predator. It seems to be incredibly as it should be.
Yeah, it's like it
Ideally.
seems like it's just thriving, kind of like
Exactly.
just a huge network. And yeah, he'll just kind of just enjoy and connect with that as he walks back through nature.
Cool. and you're not really sure how this is possible. There's parts of it where you're like, something is natural as you know natural to be. And you're not sure how this is brought about, but it's not a bad thing as far as you can tell. Cool. All right, you guys all wander back, and perhaps a number of fruits and meats have been brought in. And as you guys sort of converge from the forest where you slept, you would see like various druids entering and exiting the somewhat damaged home of Alicia, and sort of bringing breakfast into the home, sort of as gifts and stuff. And you guys are met with, at worst, apathy, but at best, great courtesy by these druids of the moon circle here. They bring in the food, and maybe they're assisted with like by little face sprites who are like and they just like are laughing for some reason. And yeah,
you see the frog in the tuxedo and the butler uniform, of course.
I think you definitely don't see that.
Okay, I thought I could see it.
No, there's tuxedos won't be invented for quite a while. But nonetheless, you see a variety of fey creatures and druids deliver morning amenities.
And you see Alicia come down in her in morning clothes. That is very fresh and ready for the day. Looking admirably up at the tree and all the surprising damage it's taken. Anybody else joining her for breakfast?
Yeah, Ouroboros, he'll sit at the table. He'll be kind of quiet. And he'll just kind of look at you, kind of give you a
she walks over she walks over to you, scratches you on your big bald head and says, Good morning, Your Highness. It was like enjoying the lands of the druids and the Gaia.
I'll enjoy it a lot more when we get what we came here for.
That part will be more difficult, but I do have a place we can start. I think of someone we could begin to start with.
Surely you've been convinced to put in a great word for us.
I can. It's someone I know personally. She is an exceptional druid. I owe her much. We haven't spoken much recently, though. But when duty calls, desperate times, all that kind of such, all such and such. Well, this is a conversation best held with everyone else. Where the fuck is everyone else? Did they just sleep outside?
Some did, yeah. They kind of do that sometimes.
Yeah, at which point Silenos will like stumble in. He'll just like wipe some like moss off his shoulder and like grab whatever's on the table. Just like, hey.
Enjoy your rest.
Yeah, I was connecting with the nature here. It's beautiful.
It's so much more than just beautiful, but yes. You're a ranger, you're connected with nature as it is, but how did it feel?
I enjoy the balance. It's Peaceful.
Yes, it is. Yes. Oh, yes, it is. Is what? Where's no? Our missing is Gyasi, Thalia, and Katara. Where would they be?
I will come down for breakfast.
I'm sorry. What was that?
He comes in for breakfast.
Okay. Lady, Lady Thalia, welcome to happy you could join us.
Thank you. Good morning.
When Thalia sits down at the table, Ouroboros will give her like a fist bump, like,
Oh fuck yeah, she'll totally knuckle up. Yeah.
At least he gives you both a grin and winks in Thalia's direction, like. So enjoy your night in the land of Gaia.
Oh, sure. I slept just fine on the floor over there. She'll say kind of sarcastically.
Feels like everyone's pretty good here, even the nasty parts. Nasty parts. All we're missing is Katara and Gyasi, I believe that's his name. Hope they didn't run off too far. Easy to get distracted around here.
Katara would have just been going wherever Gyasi went, so depending on where he chose to sleep.
Oh, I was following you.
Oh, great. We're just going in circles. Yeah, she would have been outside of the building because, didn't seem structurally sound. So, and again, she's sort of waiting. She's trying to give him, because he seems to be wanting to do something. So she's still hanging out with Gyasi, like kind of trying to guide him to what he wants to do, trying to keep that connection when she has it.
We'll say as Katara is staring at Gyasi to do something, Gyasi is staring at Katara to do something. One of the druids go by and they say, "Well, the door's right over here," and they help you guys get inside the hut.
Okay.
And then they will arrive. It is worth noting, Katara, though, as you wake up this morning, your left arm is feeling a little flimsy, like not solid, just like muscular wise, like it's not weak per se, but it just feels like really loose. Best way to describe it. Not painful, just a little loose, a little flimsy.
Can she try to put a little bit of weight? Can she find a tree and just see what happens if she puts her hand on it and leans?
Everything holds together. You're just feeling really kind of loose, yeah.
All right. So she walks into the hut then, I guess, with Gyasi, and at the same time she's just
There's a little Brad Pitt at the end of Hollywood
Yeah.
while he's on acid. He's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little weird. It's not like anything significant. Yeah. It's just a little weird.
But yeah, she's just trying to figure it out. So she's just she's every once in a while she's just gonna kind of do that to see if it does anything different.
Your fingers too, they're just they don't feel very tense. They just feel like maybe your grip isn't as strong as usual, but
okay,
it's fine.
Silenos sees it flopping around. He's definitely gonna poke it.
Mm-hmm.
He pokes you, it's tired, you feel fine.
It feels strange. But I don't know why.
It looks more strange than usual. Here, have some. Sit.
Okay. Yeah, see this way. And then she'll see if he follows.
Holding Gyasi's hand with her right hand and doing this with her left hand.
And Silenos will set down a pillow for Gyasi somewhere or something.
Gyasi is looking a little bit more conscious, a little bit more lucid. Still very downtrodden, still very low-looking, crestfallen, but eyes more reactive and a little more reactive, coming conscious again, a little bit. You don't know what Katara did to him in the woods. She did something.
Couldn't have been good.
All right, you are all here in
Yeah.
the thing, in the tree.
Yeah, Gyasi, you suddenly seem better, my friend.
No response. The eyes are a little bit more alert, but there's still an abundance of nobody home.
One step at a okay. Well, very well. One step at a time.
I think I helped him a bit, but he seems to be looking for something now. For someone.
Perhaps he might find it on our journey.
There's a little hummingbird, and you guys have a moment of like, well, a hummingbird, because I don't think they're very native to beasts. But you guys see like a little hummingbird here, and you guys have like a, oh, that's so cool, and it lands on your shoulder, Alicia. And it whispers in your ear for what you would recognize as the animal messenger spell. The voice of one of your druids would say, "Archdruid, when you have a moment."
Oh yes, I see. If you pardon me, all of you, I need to go see something. Elisa gets properly dressed, and she goes out to more formal matter to go out and see what the matter may be.
You take your very formal staff and head out. And you head outside to see two of the duo. I suppose you don't have they're just all watching rapidly. Okay, so you have stepped outside. You're going to see two druids out there. Two, of course, that you'll recognize from your very circle. You're going to see. Oh, that is. You guys will see. Nah, get out of here, portal. You're not needed. But you step outside to see an Eladrin druid. He's currently sort of in his sunbathed form. A very handsome elfin one that you probably trust to not be your second, but sort of help facilitate certain matters. And standing next, definitely towering over him, would be a furball woman who goes by Jazana. All of the furballs of the circle go by Moon as the last name. And they're just sort of waiting for you outside. Zenmace will say, Archdruid, apologies for interrupting you and your guests, but the village, they want to know somewhat anxiously that you came from the waterfall entrance. Is the Tarask still alive? Have these people slain it?
The big beast. Don't worry, my friend. The big beastie is still alive. A bit frustrated, but he's alive.
There's a noticeable from both of them. A noticeable sort of like a little sigh of relief. He says, "Thank you. That'll ease some minds." And then Josana will say, "I just wanted to remind you, Archdruid, that the Archdruids would be wanting to meet with these outsiders sooner rather than later. Would you wish for me to send word to the various circles?"
Yes. Send them all. Send them first to. Although first, come here. Send them for. Make sure word gets to May first of the Star Circle.
Certainly, sir. Certainly, Archdruid.
And send her a reply to me as soon as she can. Thank you.
I will as soon as I know it, and will be respectful. This is all in Druidic, of course. Okay. In fact, that's probably the primary language amongst the Druids. And she'll step away. Zenlius will say, Archdruid, would you mind if I asked a slightly more personal question?
Very well.
Do you have any idea how long these outsiders intend to be here? What they want from us? Is it what the other demigod wanted?
And she's just messing with the hair. It's shoulder length instead of long now, but whatever.
Sure.
They're gonna be as long as they need to be here. But I have a feeling time is also of the essence. Things
Well, yes.
things are. It is a grave matter outside.
So we all here, so long as it doesn't come here.
Ga-
Well,
Gaia
thank
willing,
you.
it won't. I take it by the arm, and Gaia willing, it won't.
He sort of wraps his arm around yours, puts it on your shoulder, and says, "Gaia willing." And he will depart back into the village, and that's all. That's all from your two druids.
I don't know. 3 actually, but okay.
Yeah, they're like, "Get out of here, Torval." He's like, "Oh, I'm just a novice," and he wanders away.
Leave him alone. Stop
They don't
bullying
actually.
him.
They don't actually.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Um,
And yeah, you can head back inside or do whatever the hell you want to do.
I head back inside.
Cool.
All right, everyone. The archdruids will want to meet you sooner rather than later. It's high time I explain each and every one of them to you, so you know what you're dealing with. And I begin explaining that there are There are 7 circles overall. I'm the first one, me, of course. I'm also your newest friend. And there are others, of course. The circle of the land, Valerie. They're responsible for maintaining the flora, the weather, and the natural world itself. Thalia,
Mm-hmm.
Leonis, he was your half sibling, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Valerie and him were well. How do I say this? She fell for him harder than a rock slide. She's not taking the news of his death well. She would be willing to help. As I said, there was myself, the circle of the moon, and we are responsible for the evolution of beasts and monsters here. The previous archdruid had created that big beastie at the front door that you all you were all introduced to. Thank you again for not killing it. Then, in charge of the circle of shepherds is Ian Warren. They're responsible for the beasts of Gaia, showing the prey predator balances maintained, so on and so forth. Ian Warren, he is the oldest of us all, and his word carries great weight. He does not have a strong opinion about the Titan War, but if you get him on your side, it would help immensely. In contrast to that, the Circle of Wildfire. When things go wrong in the lands of Gaia, the Circle of the Wildfire is called. When they don't have anything to do, that means the rest of us are doing our jobs perfectly well. They are led by this stinking lit aged and wise archdruid Sathir. He has quite the mouth on him, that tongue of his. But out of all the archdruids, he's the most opposed to joining in the war. He believes that this war would purge the evil of the gods and the Titans away. And should the Titans survive, he proposes we just rush in and just and slay whatever is left. He is the most resilient out of all of them, bar none. The Circle of Dreams is led by Nimble Way. They are the closest to the Fae in this world. Their job is perhaps most difficult and hard to define overall, so I'll spare you the details. Although they are quite good healers. Nimbleway is unconcerned about the Titan War and believes wants the status quo to stay the same. And over in the Circle of Spores are mainly a bunch of philosophers. To be fair, they help the living pass on into death, and seek to learn more of the wisdom of the flora and of Gaia. Their leader is Ruthlinius. I think that's how it's said. Also a bit of a status quo. Another one in favor of the status quo, but he might be interested in this concept of your underworld, lack of a better term. Lead the conversation with that. And finally, there's the Circle of Stars. They are the lore keepers in here. They maintain the stories of the past and try to divine the future. They are also keeping the closest eye on the human world. Their job is particularly risky. Their leader is Maeve. She has seen the devastation of this war and believes the Titans may need to be stopped. She is likely the one that most receptive to us besides Valerie, and the one I've known the longest, and Maeve is also the one I've known the longest, although we haven't spoken much recently. She can explain why. So, just to be clear, there's 7 of us. 3 are in favor of joining. 3 are in favor of joining. There is about 1 has no opinion. 3 are the other 2 are hesitant, and 1 is deeply opposed. This is the problem we need to solve.
Okay, which one's deeply opposed again?
Wildfire.
Sathir, the Circle of Wildfire. I respect his ability, but he is a bit of a prick.
Okay.
Thalia, when this group is introduced to all of them, I believe it would be best if you led points and made the introductions. Being a daughter of the lover would help quite a bit. It's not everything, but it would help quite a bit.
Use every angle we've got. Yeah.
I must ask, do any of you are able to communicate with the gods on the other side?
I haven't tried.
Have any of you tried?
No. Sorry. No.
I think, let's see, what you're looking for, I'll have to be aware.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I think you're referring to Silenos as a type of prayer, right?
Not necessarily, but of like, do any of you have ability to speak with the gods here?
Okay, sure.
I wouldn't know about that.
I mean, I can, but there's a chance it breaks my mind.
Does anyone else have any ideas?
Why do you need to speak with the gods?
So you can consult with them, see what they're willing to give up.
I can divine answers from them, yes, but what do you mean give up?
What the world will look like after Titan, after Kronos is defeated.
To tell you the honest God's truth, I would say that we are currently in a position where whatever we decide to do, we do what is necessary and then ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Within reason, of course.
Alicia's a little taken back by that answer, and she says, "Are you saying that the gods came in here, sent you here with no idea of what to potentially offer us?
They didn't send
And-
us here.
And you have no ability to make any guarantees on our behalf?"
I'm not saying that whatsoever. What I'm saying is that the gods chose us to bring an end to this war and to lead them to the other side. And we will see that happen. But if the gods are gracious, as they are, then perhaps we have some leeway in what we can ask.
Alicia just gives you a look. Well, we could talk. It would need. This would be supremely difficult, incredibly difficult. Ryan,
Mhm.
would it be possible for us?
Yeah.
A person to potentially consult with. Is it?
For you?
I mean,
consult with?
yeah. Us and for me and as a group.
Yeah.
How
So
quick?
keep in mind, just to clear things, like, yeah, a council would, like, the archdruids basically were like, oh yeah, like we'll let the onus, sure, we'll let you, we'll allow these people to enter, and we'll hear what they have to say. Was essentially the agreement that the onus had made with the archdruids, with some exceptional charismatic skill, getting the druids to even bend it out to extreme amounts of persuasive ability. But regardless of this council that needs to be called to consult with these demigods, you can still send a message to, say, like, Valerie or Maeve, and be like, hey, you want to meet them first and get your advice before we walk
Okay.
into the whole fucking council?
Okay.
Like, you can do whatever you want. You're the fucking architect.
I'm gonna go. I'll be right back. I tell the group I'll be right back, and I'm gonna go find my druid friends real fast.
Yeah, we can find any number of druids who are helpful, but we'll say that Zenlius is a little more free for the second.
I need you to send two immediate messages. One to Archdruid Valerie, and one to Archdruid Maeve immediately.
Certainly, Archdruid, but
ask them both to come here. We need them. I need them to meet with this group before the others.
He will sort of. I heard a rumor, Archdruid, and I'll confirm it up with you. But I think that Maeve has already gone to the Moonglow village, which would be the, as you know, the head village for the Circle of the Land. So if you want to catch both of them at the same time, they're already going to be meeting today.
Oh, that's even better. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I go back in and I talk to them. I'm gonna go back to the Demithots.
Sure thing.
All right. Okay, everybody, I have a new plan. I've heard a rumor that Maeve may already be visiting the Valerie. If so, we need to go meet with them first. Meet with them first because they're the most sympathetic. And we can probably hash out ideas with them much quicker and much easier.
I'd be honored to meet more of the council.
Everyone else?
Please.
Lead on.
Lead the way.
Anything else? Anything else? Is there anything you need from here before we leave?
Nah, we're pretty self-sufficient.
I heard you said something about diamonds, Thalia.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we don't need to do a shopping trip, but I think that I've been more concerned about gaining access. Yeah,
Okay.
I think you can do.
Okay. Very well.
We'll say you have a quick, but if you want, Alicia, we could say that you have a bag of diamonds handy because for your own spellcraft. You have in your possession 2 diamonds. One is worth 600 gold pieces. The other is worth 400 gold pieces.
600 gold pieces, 400 gold pieces.
Yep, 2 diamonds, 1 6, 1 4.
Okay.
Like around your house, basically.
600. 600
Yeah,
diamond
you don't
and
have
400 diamond.
You druids don't hold a lot of value in material wealth, so I'm going to give you your wealth in other ways as we progress.
Okay, we'll figure that out. Okay, we need to get over there as quickly as we can. I'm just looking at what my
Transport via plants, perhaps.
Yeah, hold on. I was also looking at sorry. There is yeah, that would be for the best. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking through the spell list.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, everyone. Follow me, please.
You walk outside, and I'm sure there is a sort of central tree that would be most utilized by the village for the sake of this spell that only a sparse few of remarkable skill can cast, such as yourself.
And I've been to the Circle of the Land
You've
home.
been wherever the fuck you want to have been, my friend.
Mhm.
You've been around for a minute, and you're responsible for the whole land. So you know your way around. Let's put it that way.
Excellent. All right, excellent. I imagine I rub my hands together and I begin imagining a tree near the center of the town of the Circle of the Land.
Fantastic. You do so. You know the very tree, which is most utilized for the spell by the archdruids. And if you press the magic upon the tree, you will see it receives your magic kindly, and the bark.
Okay, and before I did it, I told everyone, when I say run, fucking run.
Okay.
And I open it up. I cast transport via plants, and I say run, and we all run inside.
So you guys see the bark of the tree kindly unfurl itself. You hear that groan and that of the wood. And as the tree sort of unfolds itself, a green mist of energy will form across it, at which point Alicia will say, go! And all of you can walk through the portal if you wish.
I wonder why they said run. I really wonder. And then, yeah, I got through.
Fantastic. I apologize, Alicia, that the board I picked for your village is so fucking evil looking with all the skulls and dead shit.
It's fine.
I've been working on it a little here and there.
It's just like home.
It's okay.
They gotta eat too, you know.
Katara's like, this is my favorite one.
Yeah, this is Look, there are a lot of goths in my circle for some reason. Okay.
I was gonna
Love
say,
skulls.
when Alicia says the whole run thing, I think Katara pauses and waits for Silenos to go, and she will follow if he goes through. But she's wary.
All right. You guys step through the tree. And unlike the last village, which was attended to by many beasts of different sizes, large elks and such, this village is different. The trees grow taller here. The blades of grass are healthy and vibrant and lush. The water of the streams flows in a sort of perfect river down the way, and bridges of roots form across. The floral world, the natural world itself, seems to be quite healthy and quite vibrant here. You see little fishies swimming through the ponds, and all of the beasts still travel here. But it is the flora, the bushes, the trees, the flowers, the grass, that is the rivers that are functioning well. And this village would be probably 2 or 3 times as larger than Alicia's village. And you see many more druids in this village than the last, wandering here and there across the water. And you would see, perhaps Silenos, to your interest, some druids standing guard as on the other side of the bridge, and bow their head in respect to Alicia and say something in druidic. That Thalia you would interpret simply as like, Gaia honor you, or something along those lines, a respectful greeting for an elder.
I greet them as well.
Very well.
So they know that's not a strange. It's like this
Yeah,
group of strangers
absolutely.
is not dangerous.
Well, they'll recognize you, and regardless of who your company is, they will have passage because they're in your company. You could be. That's how it works around. There's respect for the archdruids. You could walk through here with Kronos, and they'd still bow their head, as they trust you to lead.
I bow back to them.
All right. And you make your way into the village, and to your delight, you see, similar to the Moon Druid village, but a little bit more, I don't want to say advanced, but certainly in a cool way. You see I haven't put minis everywhere, but there are children of elves and gnomes, of a strange cow-like creature, one is furball, even a family of like elephant-looking individuals. To your interest, perhaps, Gyasi, you see a couple of catfolk children wander by, which probably surprises you. You've never met anyone of your sort of bestial persuasion, shall we say. But many elves and many druids linger here, and they wander across branch-built bridges from one treehouse to the next. It is a very large, very vibrant village, and this is probably the most druidy of the villages you will experience. This is the most sort of what you would imagine a druid village to look like. Very classic. And you wander through, and you'll find your way to which will essentially be like the archdruids area, the counseling area, where a number of rangers are present. And beyond that, you would see holding counsel with one another the 2 archdruids, Maeve and Valerie. As you look upon them, you will see Maeve is a very classic druid as well. She looks very much like Alicia in dress, holding a staff, a number of bits of animal tokens and totems on her person. Her actual vestments look like they're designed with dots that form constellations across them. She holds a large, very well and immaculately carved piece of wood that sort of dangles at her side that has intricate star constellations across it and almost seem to gleam with magical power. But she is older, even in appearance. Maeve looks to be an aged elf, but still holds the grace of her people. Far younger, but still an elf, and slightly darker around the eyes, but certainly more beautiful in her youth. You'll see a fiery orange-haired druidess wearing a very simple dress of leaves, It only goes to about her knee, and there is a thigh slit that goes up to about her hip. And she wears beautiful leaves of green that descend into orange near the bottom. She's barefoot. She has a wand on her hip. She's much less like exceptionally archdruid than the others, and there's a distinct youth to her. Alicia, you would know that this is probably the youngest of the archdruids, but that doesn't mean she has any less respect amongst them. The two seem to hold counsel, and their attention will turn with surprise to you as you approach with these strange foreigners.
Valerie's just slightly younger than me, I suppose.
Just slightly. Well, that's true given your age. I'll say she's young for an elven. So you are still younger, but she is. She's still young for an elven. Yeah, she's probably only like 150 years old. For an archdruid, that is young. That is very young. But they both turn their attention. Maeve will see you, Alicia, and smile kindly, motherly almost. And she will greet you with the same druidic greeting of sort of respect and honor.
I, like, the perceptive among the party might notice a kind of a deep sigh from Alicia, like, and bows and gives greetings to Maeve, and a more relaxed one to Valerie.
Valerie's eyes are darting across the visitors here, and then as you say yours, it's almost as if she'd like forgot her decorum, and she a little less like Andran Atishan. It's a little more like Andran, and it's a very sort of respectful but quick as she seems her interest, and she is like a focus in the eyes as she's looking for someone amongst these foreigners with great precision. And Maeve will sort of step forward as she's doing this and kind of like take the lead in the conversation and say, Archdruid Alicia, welcome. We were informed that you had travelers with you.
Yeah. Yes, Maeve, Archdruid Maeve. I was happy enough to greet our visitors when they arrived. I kept them overnight so they could rest. But when I heard that you and Archdruid Valerie were both here, I thought it best to take them here as quickly as I could. I begin introducing them. I point out Gyasi, Ouroboros, Katala, Silenos, and I really make a point of introducing. This is Thalia, daughter of the lover, and like take her arm and bring her forward a little bit.
Maeve very respectfully. So Alicia's, I will say, Alicia's Greek is pretty good, but it sounds unpolished. And Alicia, you would have learned your Greek from Maeve. Being investigating the Greek world, she would have had to have learned the Greek language. But most druids don't know. Rather, except for the Circle of the Stars, of course. They all make sure to keep up to date with that in practice. So you would have learned through Maeve. Valerie recently has picked it up, and it's a little broken, but she can pick it up well. And as you say, like Thalia of the lovers, and sort of push her forward. Maeve will very respectfully swap today. Say, all are welcome, and Thalia of the Demithots, daughter of the lover, it's a great pleasure to meet you all, and to you specifically.
Well, the pleasure is all mine. I'm honored to meet you both, and she'll individually give them curtsies.
As you curtsy to Valerie, you realize her glare. She's staring holes through you. She's sort of leaned up against the table, but there is like not a look of like jealousy, like a look of fury. Mm-hmm. But she seems to be holding it at bay. This is a piece of information that maybe you were unaware of, Alicia, of this disposition she holds. Maeve is a little like, so perhaps we will, as he like captures the gaze, he goes, perhaps you might walk with us, and we might learn some of your group.
Yeah, that would be for the best. Would probably for the best. Yes. Valley, would you join us?
Of course.
Thank you.
Valerie will, she'll just sort of like turn her, like almost like pulling herself away from the gaze, looks at you, Alicia, and gives you a nod and kind of returns her furious look towards Valerie.
And as we're walking along, I try to walk behind with Valerie for a few moments, perhaps, and ask.
And Maeve keeps to the front. She's like, so this is the Moonglow. It's Hollow, by the way, not Village, but this is Moonglow Hollow, the center of the circles of the land. How much has Alicia told you? And she'll begin to sort of small talk all of you as Alicia, you take up the rear with Valerie.
Like, Valerie, is everything all right? What you were staring daggers at her.
She goes to say something, and I will say, Alicia, to give you some context, the druids control the natural world in all its aspects, including the immaterial ones, like love. And as I think I've described to you previously, like, people choose to be in love. If they meet someone and they get along, they will use the power of enchantment magic to cultivate love consciously. And if they decide to part ways, it still stings, but it's not as painful and horrible. Valerie is probably the first person in the lands of Gaia to ever fall as, like, inexplicably and uncontrollably and passionately in love as anyone, perhaps, in the lands of Gaia. And you don't know how to navigate this. You don't know this mortal love that she has experienced. And she sort of looks at you as if to sort of say something, and she just kind of like, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, explain it to me.
He died in their care. He spoke of her like she was all the stars. And then she just kind of like huffs, and you feel such pain from her that she doesn't wish to continue.
Alicia just kind of like takes a moment, just rubs her eyes and thinks, I don't know if Gaia help me. And she joins
I told
along.
you wouldn't understand.
Explain it to me.
I have. It's not worth it. You don't understand. It's not for you to understand, and that's okay. We're of the same mind still, I assume.
Yeah.
About the Titan War.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Of the Titan Wars, absolutely. Titan War, absolutely.
And this doesn't require much more discussion, does it? We're of the same mind. That's all.
I'm worried about you.
She'll sort of, you see her swallow actively and like force a smile, which we don't see on her face much these days, though you used to. She says, "You're right. Thank you."
I miss that smile, you know. It's good to see it back.
I miss it too.
And I just give her a quick embrace and bring her along.
Yep. She still follows along. Whatever she's dealing with isn't solved in this moment, but you druids are very community-based people, and ensuring that you all know that you're there for one another is so important. And you do, and that's important. But anyway, those of you at the front of the line, back to my Demithots, as you walk along with this archdruid May, would there be any, as she sort of maybe hears from you in small talk, like, it's just, I told you of the druid circles and the archdruids. It's very good. Alicia is an excellent archdruid. is there anything that I could help you with as you are coming to understand our way of life?
Yeah, what exactly is it that the druids want to gain from these negotiations? Alicia hinted at land.
Like I'm
You're
sorry,
back,
Alicia.
buddy.
Okay, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Maeve says, well, it depends on the archdruid, and really any druid that you ask. Everyone wants different things. Some people want things to remain the way they are. The lands of Gaia are peaceful, and they function and work, and they have for hundreds and hundreds of years. And some people don't want to disrupt that peace, whereas others, admittedly, such as myself, understand the realities of what is happening in the North World and know that we come from there. And perhaps we hold some responsibility to help our wayward kin, the elves that were left behind. And then there's others who have more extreme designs upon what could be possible from the world. As it is with any number of people in a room, they tend to disagree. But we are as we are for now, and the reason why you're holding this audience is because I believe it was your friend Leonis. He was remarkably persuasive on certain points and allowed an audience to be held. He expected that you would be able to convince and explain what you need better.
He has a lot of faith in me. I hope it's not misplaced. I'm grateful he was able to secure this audience with the mages without and Thalia will describe why it's so important that we get Olympus back, because Kronos is sitting up there now and can see everything and is targeting. I don't know, like she'll explain specifically.
And maybe there's a point where you all sort of, she's showing you around. So maybe there's a point where you guys stop at a cool tree or a druid well of power or something of relevance there as she's sort of showing you around, like one would show you around their art and see that they're a very wealthy individual. And she'll turn to you very directly, eye to eye, and she'll say, I understand. You did speak of our access with some surprise to us, as it is a very well kept secret that he was kind enough to protect its secrecy even amongst us. But what you ask from us is no small thing. It reveals possibly one of our more powerful assets if the gods ever found this place and decided to make good on their old promises of destroying us. I understand the horrors of the wars you all face, and I think I could be convinced that the best would be to help in some way or another. But not everybody feels that. Not everybody feels that they owe you anything. Especially not something as profoundly important as our ability to access Olympus, a secret that not even the gods know. You being here is already a tremendous risk. I hope you understand.
I believe I do understand the delicate nuances at play here. Do you have any advice before going in?
Well, the council will be called later today, it seems, as they need to gather, and certain archdruids are busy with their own affairs, so we will hold the council a little later in the afternoon, so you have some time to prepare and speak amongst yourselves if you wish. But it sounds like Alicia has already given you a large understanding of how each of us feel about what is to come. I will say, I do hold, as all druids do, the grief of our ancestors and what happened with the gods. But I have seen your world and know things are not so simple and black as white as the gods are our enemy and the druids are good. I understand you are all demigods and do not hold it against you. Sort of referring past Thalia to the rest of you. She says, but, however, many of the archdruids and many of the other druids do. They do hold an ancestral resentment and very much regard the Olympians as enemy, black and white. We're gonna have to find a way to convince them that this is in our best interests as well. I will do my part. I have no doubt Alicia will do hers. She is, for her own reasons, adamantly behind her. But you'll have to convince us that it is in our interest as well. Not just a thing to be done out of kindness. This is too important that we will share.
I have some ideas.
Is there anything your group requires for such a thing? You'll perhaps need all of your boons and resources available.
Like what?
Just you are guests. I need to be hospitable.
Oh,
What you bring here could be potentially very important in future events. Or if there's something you'd request. If not, that is okay as well.
well, yeah, but you're just willing to give us.
You seem very troubled by this request.
Yeah, she's just like, we can give you whatever you want. Is that what she's getting at, or is she just being like?
She's being kind, and she says, "Is there anything that we could do for you? We're being hospitable. We're proper druids. Is there anything you need?"
Oh,
You can make whatever request you ask of her, but like when you enter anyone's home, there is a measure of decorum in what you ask. So if you're like, you want all of your material wealth, she's gonna be like, fuck you. But you know, be measured in your requests, of course.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Alicia has provided us residence in her lovely home. We're quite comfortable. And she's lying because she was not comfortable sleeping on the floor, but she also like she doesn't want to be rude either. So
Maybe deception check out for fun.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's a natural 20 for 31.
Then she continues the conversation. He says, "Oh, excellent. I'm glad to hear." She'll sort of lean into you and says, "Between me and you, the druids of the main are the most bestial and find themselves most easily hospitable in humble settings. So it's good to hear that the archdruid, was capable of the hospitality required."
Of course. Yeah. We're most grateful. I mean, half of them are sleeping in the woods anyway, so we're an easy crowd to please.
Well, by all means, please, I do not wish to speak for the archdruid Valerie, who seems a little consumed, but I have no doubt, as it is proper of our culture, the village is yours to wander. Please, if you need anything, ask anybody. You are guests here, and thus you the hospitality of the whole village. And we will set off to this council in some time, and maybe you might enjoy to meet some of the villagers and some of the druids and the fae and understand us a little bit. I will be back where you originally found us in the archdruids sanctuary. There it is. Is there anything else I could do for all of you, or would you find it fine to wander?
Archdruid, before you go, if I may have a word with you.
Yes, Silenos, was it?
It is. Thank you.
By all means. And she will nod to the rest of you and basically say, until we meet again, and we'll be happy to have a walk with you, Silenos.
Yeah, I'll just say, Archdruid Maeve, Alicia had told me of your powers and your strength. I was just very inspired. I myself took in the beauty of the stars last night. It was profound.
I'm so glad to hear that. The stars hold many secrets, many, many secrets. And even someone of my age, I still work very hard to understand all of the signs presented.
I see that. I think I was starting to see some of them. I mean to ask you, I hear that you're typically lore keepers, and I seek information on an entity that isn't known in my domain, and well, neither are you. So I thought perhaps maybe you may help.
I would be very interested to
Both myself and another party member, Katara, have been touched by a force that touches even this place. I can feel it always. The forces of Nyx. When we were in the underworld for a brief time, I was able to connect with it in a way that, from what I've been told, no other has been able to. I just wonder if you have any information on this.
There was a fellow that used to travel amongst the circles, wandered here and there, that we thought had great potential to become a druid. And, well, druids choose which circle they wish to serve. When children come of age, they decide which pleases them most, and they will go there to train. And we thought this one individual was going to be a druid, but had a deep obsession with darkness and shadow, and seemed to believe there was greater power in there that's more than it was given credit for, and decided to part from at least what we consider to be the humble civilized world. Departed from all circles and made his way inside of the mountain. And we'll sort of point in a direction to the east. And we'll say there's a mountain not too far away, and a cave that runs deep into the mountain. I do not want to know what has become of him, but he departed with an interest to essentially meditate upon darkness itself and understand its way. Oh, you're muted. Muted.
Interesting. Just for conversation, how far is travel? I would never seek to desecrate these lands. However, I just...
By all means, the land is meant to be traveled to. I understand that you, from your world, when things are sacred, they are not to be traveled upon lightly. But we believe that even when things are sacred, the natural world it belongs to all. It belongs to every root, every grain of sand, every walking, breathing person. So by no means feel like you're.
I agree. Thank you.
But to your original question, it's been some time, but if I'm not mistaken, it's only about a day's travel. She sort of looks at your equipment. She says, "You seem. I can feel natural energy from you. You are a ranger."
Indeed, yes.
I see. If that's the case, you could perhaps make the journey in less than a day. I don't know your level of skill, but I assume it's considerable. But less than a day. The actual climbing of the mountain I've never actually performed, so that'll be upon you as well. But the mouth of the cave is not hard to see even from the base of the mountain. You will know the way.
Thank you. Is there anything I should know about that person or where I'm going?
We have not seen this individual for a very long time. He disappeared into the mountains some 50 years ago. And we're pretty sure he's still alive. The last time we communed with nature, we have sensed his life force. But he's an older man now. Or excuse me, he's an older furbolg, I believe, if I recall. It wasn't from my circle. But an older furbolg. He had a name, but he said he discarded it when he went on his voyage, so I would not wish to disrespect him in mentioning that name now. But I understand him the last he was here, though he was interested in darkness, he was not a malicious or cruel individual. Could you meet with him? I don't suspect that you will be in mortal peril, unless it's from a creature in which's cave you've stumbled upon. Be aware that, though this place we like to think is quite idyllic, the beasts still need to eat, and territories can still be traipsed upon without permission. So be cautious of the monsters and beasts of the land, but otherwise, when you meet this furbolg, I don't imagine he will be violent towards you. But
Thank
that was
you.
50 years ago.
Of course. I seek only to help. There's wrongs that happen all over. We can only fix it now.
Certainly. If you're
Do
interested in this individual, please.
I was gonna say, do I get do I think with a flying elk I could do it in like a quarter the time he thinks I could?
You could probably, yeah, man. She's estimating that you're traveling by land. She's like, I don't know your regular capabilities, I don't know your flight capabilities, your climbing capabilities. On a flying doe, like, yeah, you probably get it done in a quarter day, sure. You probably get there in a quarter day. The cave itself, you don't know.
Yeah. Silenos will, after talking to them, he'll just go over to Katara and he'll just walk over to her and he'll just say, I'm sorry, and he'll just rip off one of her fingernails.
Oh my god. It's not hard.
I have to go somewhere, but I want to still be able to contact you guys. Yeah, just check in every so often. And then he's gonna throw down his dough figurine and just tear off into the sky.
And the druids will be like, whoa, as you do that, like not in a bad way, but like, that was so cool. That was gold. And you fly off into the canopy of the sky, leaving your party in the in this moon glow hollow. And there's plenty to be learned, plenty to do here. And it seems this ally of parents, Valerie, might not be quite as much an ally as you thought. Perhaps some conversation must ensue to ensure her alliance, but we will pick that up next session.
Took a whole finger, man?
A fingernail, he said. A fingernail.
I thought he said finger. I was like, sure, whatever.